to the Exploding Heads Horror Movie Podcast, episode number 92. I am Dave Z.
Hey, my name's Christian.
Hey, my name is Brandon.
Boom! And we're getting more professional by the week. By the time we get 100, we'll be as professional as the shallow end of horror can be.
I just had my mind blown.
Did you? You're an exploding head with a mind blown.
I just had a full head explosion.
Uh-oh.
Well, I have sort of a
pants.
full head explosion. Yeah, in my pants. No. That's. I'm sorry. That's unfortunately that's a mild rumble. or if it's cold down, a full head implosion. No, but watching Blood Rage, which is one of the films we're going to be reviewing tonight, they were watching a horror movie in there, and I was so proud that I actually knew it because I've seen it and I actually own that movie, and I just realized looking it up that the director of Blood Rage also directed that movie, so it's really not that far of a stretch.
So it came on the cheap.
Yeah. But did you know that was the Last House on Massacre Street that they're watching on the couch?
No, I was curious as to what it was, and I was going to bring it up. So, wow, you've already answered questions before we even got into it.
Yeah, I was watching, I'm like, Dad, I think that's Last House on Massacre Street. He's like, I don't give a shit.
Yeah, I was just about to say. It was like, who fucking cares, you geek?
Basically, he's like, when is this movie over? When is this over?
Hey, somebody cares. Somebody tuned in to this podcast, and they just learned something they didn't know.
I was happy because I usually.
But whether they cared, that's the question. They may have learned something.
Well, true, but I guess they can look like they're smarter one day when they talk to somebody about it. Hey, Blood Rage, you know the name of that movie that was playing there? Although people like that are a little bit annoying when they just bring up useless facts.
I never get that. Usually when there's like a horror movie shown within a horror movie, it's always something like
public domain.
Yeah, something I've never seen or
Typically,
heard
Night
of.
of the Living Dead. Night of the Living Dead.
Yeah, they do a lot of Night of the Living Dead. You see the Thing occasionally.
Yeah, Night of the Living Dead, it's kind of become a thing upon its own. Like, I think if we ever made our movie, what we were doing here, if we did it that style, like Unfriended style, because they stole the idea from us, but if we were going to do it that way or a movie like that, then I guess in the background we could have a TV on and we can have, like, Night of the Living Dead playing. I would like to have just that one part.
What, they're coming to get you, Barbara?
Yeah.
It always has to be they're coming to get you.
It does, though, but only because of Halloween 2. It's just a tribute to Halloween 2 and old school horror,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah, no, that's true.
I think that'd be great to do. But anyway, tonight, yeah, as B has already said, Blood Rage is one of the movies we're covering tonight. We have 3 feature reviews, all picked by the patrons. We have Blood Rage, given to us from Scott, our buddy Scott. We have Sleepless, our general Sleepless, mind you, from George. And we have The Devil's Machine from Derek B. of Cinema Attack fame, of No More Room in Hell fame.
Celluloid dissections.
Celluloid dissections.
That's a new one.
Underwater kaiju.
Underwater kaiju. Yeah.
They're starting to pile them up, almost getting to Venom level.
Everybody is starting to pile them up that's getting involved. Somebody recently just started some. Oh, Heather. Heather, our homie Heather Powell.
She's my neighbor. She's on every show but ours. She my neighbor. I don't even know what I was like. She lives like literally. She my neighbor. I don't even know why I said she my neighbor.
Until you broke that down
She
and said,
my neighbor.
She my neighbor. I thought you were saying Sheba baby.
She be my neighbor.
Well, Christian, all you had to do was ask, hey, can we have Heather on the show? You know what I mean? It's not that hard to do, but she is getting around on the guest spots. But now
Get
she's
off the guest spots, Heather.
She's gonna have a real show. Her and Scott Crawford are gonna be doing a show together. So I was gonna message her and say, Heather, stop it while you
before
can.
you're ahead. Yeah, before you.
Yes. Stop
Yeah,
before you're ahead, you said?
No, I mean, yeah, I don't even know what I was saying. I was saying because all I know is that she wasn't on a real show before because she was guesting on NFW.
Yeah, that's definitely not a real show. But she records with Neil, so she should be able to handle anything else at this point.
Yeah, good audio. What is this called?
We love
Production.
Uncle Nudie, he's not even listening. No one's listening anymore. JP doesn't listen anymore. Nobody listens.
Oh, I love
Talk shit about them then.
Good. We're gonna start a new segment. This one's called Mood Swings.
I forgot about that. I'm gonna start a mood swing segment too.
This is gonna be my segment.
Oh God!
I know you
my
can't.
mouth shut. This is gonna somehow get back to them.
There's nothing bad about it. That was a segment that
Oh,
they
it's
did. It was like, what do you call it? What's he do?
Undead mail.
Thank you. You got undead mail, so I should get mood
I
swing.
steal. Yeah, we steal and we make it better.
Yeah, we stole.
Yeah.
What did
you're
they
right.
call what we watched?
Yeah, triple R.
Every
I
fucking
really think-
show does a what we watched.
I
Every
know, but
podcast.
I really love that we came up with triple R's.
I dig it.
Round robin reviews makes perfect sense. People were saying to me at the beginning when we first started doing that, like that doesn't make sense. It's exactly. We're sitting in like a round circle here, round table, we're going round
Virtually.
robin style,
Right.
one after another. It's exactly what it is.
No shit. Round robin reviews, triple R's, trips. You know, it's our thing. No one else came up with it.
What we watched doesn't make sense because it's really what you watched, not what we watched. So
What I watched.
yeah, it really should be.
IW.
Yeah. So
We. Yeah. Yeah, that's what they should call it. Instead of saying we got dubs, they should say we got dub I-dub or something.
Dub by dub.
That doesn't sound good, though. So, yeah, how about Z-swings? Does that sound good? Z-swing.
That sounds like a sex move. That's gonna give someone a urinary tract infection.
Yeah, buddy. And if you do,
Yeah.
you know what to do. Little crank.
Ladies, get your cranberry juice out.
Yeah, that should have been my gimmick. If I ever get single again, I'm going to say that.
No,
Ladies-
that's gonna be your gimmick on the show. Ladies, get the cranberry juice out. Dave's coming in hot.
And only the patrons know what we're talking about. So
And that's the way it should be.
there was a little pregame in action. Speaking of the patrons, we just dropped last week. Well, by the time this comes out, a little, you know. But we dropped another bonus show. We dropped a November show a couple of days late. So there's going to be 2 shows in December. So we're going to have another exclusive show in December. And I'll tell you what, that show was a lot of fun. That one we
It
did-
was. That's
Yeah.
my favorite kind of show to do. Just kind of.
The ones where no one listens to.
Hey, the patrons listen to it. They pay for it. Whether they watch it or not, that's their own choice. But
Hey, I put a lot of effort into that video.
I know it was great.
I souped it up.
Oh, it's great. Well, I'm telling you, see, absolutely. And we're going to have more kickback, laid-back style shows after show 100 because we're going to be going back to the old format with the old and the new and a couple other ideas. So we're not going to have 3 reviews like we do tonight unless it's like a trilogy somebody picked out. But that's not till after episode 100, and that's not till March, April. But we are getting there. It is 92. Speaking of 92, let's get with it. So we got
Still in
those
a room
3
without a
movies.
view. You got to know.
Yes.
When the brother
Wow,
says,
very
go,
good.
go, go.
Rage. Go. Rage Against the Machine. Beautiful. Wow. Mhm.
Look at Brandon's face. He's dumbfounded.
I
Who's
never
the founded?
raged against the machine. I never raged against anything, actually.
Maybe you should start.
These guys, I have a feeling, are going to be raging against the devil's machine.
Oh, you're right. What a segue. Should we start with that?
Okay, I just finished it, so we ain't gonna start with it while it's fresh in my memory. Let's do it.
All right, let's do it. Let me pull it up since I thought we were going in year order. So we're at
My order. What's my order? Who am I?
What?
Z swings. You said
Z-swings.
Going in your order.
year order.
Year
Oh,
order.
year. I thought you said your. Oh,
No, year.
what you're
Urinary tract.
watching?
Okay, so we're going to start with The Devil's Machine, which is from this year, and it is directed by Laurie Brewster, written by Sarah Daly. Antique expert Brendan Cole is sent to authenticate a 300-year-old clockwork doll with notorious history, aka the Inferno Princess.
My
okay.
God.
Okay,
My
Laurie, Lawrie. For a second, I thought that I didn't realize all this time that the director of the Black Gloves was a female, but it's not. It's,
the writer is Sarah.
Well,
Daly.
I know that. I heard that part, but I thought you said when you said Laurie Brew, I was like, wait a minute, I didn't know there was a female director, but it's not. He's a gentleman from Scotland, I believe.
Do you think
they're
Ireland?
Scottish.
Ireland? No, Scotland. You're right. I think.
I know,
Who gives
my
a fuck?
my lands.
Yeah.
And
What
they
are
always
those
get the same
colonized
lead
women?
actor, this Jamie Scott Gordon, who plays Dr. Cole in this, and I'm really a fan of his.
I like him.
I like him. I think he's a strong performer, and this film was also
He's
originally
okay.
called Automata.
Yeah, Automaton. That's not a bad title either. I understand why they had it too, because it was about this
Yeah.
You know, I can't even use the word. Can you call something an automata doll or something?
I think you just called it an automaton.
Automaton.
I don't know
Okay.
if
Yeah.
that's true. I believe in him. I don't know.
No, I'm serious.
I
I think
believe
it's
you.
automaton, but automaton might be like the female vernacular of automaton.
That actor's
Okay.
uneven for me. At one moment, I'm like, oh, this guy's driving me nuts. I find him like overacting, and then other times I'm okay with it. I will say, Laurie Brewster is someone to watch. He's at least trying to do something original, and his movies, for the most part, look good. I'm not saying they are 100% look good. There's some amazing shots in this, and then there's really some a whole hum like, why did they just go from this amazing shot with all the lighting to like this kind of just blah? And I find them maybe overly ambitious. Almost like if you didn't have the money to do it, why didn't you just scale it back a little bit and not do that part?
For me, one of the scenes in the film where the shot kind of looks silly is when the house is on fire and they're using clearly a model.
I thought that was done on purpose, though. I thought it was an artistic choice.
You think
Because
so?
he was telling a story. Remember, he was reading it in the, you know what I mean?
Okay, all right,
We're-
that's fine. I just thought,
Yeah.
because everything looks so beautiful with the reds and the blues, it looks very giallo-like and it's very gothic in feel, and I think the
Kicks into
sets are
that.
awesome.
It's kind of like the Black Gloves. It has that one beautiful location, but here's my dilemma. It looks good. I praise the guy for trying something new. I didn't give a fuck about the story. I just did not care at
Really?
all.
You know what the problem is, see? It took too long to get going. I cared, but it took me a half an hour to care. But once I succumbed to the film and I got into it and I started seeing more colors and really digging the shots, and there was less of the British Army on the screen, because that kind of shit threw me off in the beginning. It's
They're
just
over
not my cup of tea.
actors. Oh, they're also over enunciated there. Like I was watching like a high school stage play.
At first.
Well, it is very theatrical, their performances, and that's part of what I like about it. It comes off very theatrical at times.
And that's okay. So you liked it, and it took me out. And again, like I want to stress, I love what he's trying to do, and some people love what he's done. I mean, I'm just saying he's trying to be different, which you can't fault him for. I wasn't on board with the Black Gloves, and I wasn't on board with this one. But that's my issue. But visually
the one
speaking,
good thing
it's
this
great.
film does
Sorry,
is
Brandon.
I'm sorry, I didn't realize you weren't done, but I'll just say real quick, the warning at the beginning, about sexual abuse, violence against women, misogyny. It basically tells you what the themes of the film are.
I wish it didn't.
Yes,
because it didn't
thanks.
hit you over the head.
Thank you. Because I was like, oh
Yeah.
my God. And then I was like, why did they put that warning there? I was going to open with that, but then I got on my thing. Brandon, I know what you're saying, but Dave, I agree with you. 100%.
You know why? You hold up, B. Here's the reason why. Because the way it was done in the film, it was part of the subtext, but they didn't hit you over the head with it. So that's great. So if they're not hitting you over the head with it and it's placed just the right way, I think that the emphasis on that, in writing at the beginning of the film, it's just unnecessary. I would just rather not have it there.
I think it's more of a marketing thing to maybe appeal to the maybe the more mainstream horror fans, to warn them ahead of time.
It's selling you something that you don't get. So I think most of them are going to be pissed off.
No, it's completely misogynistic. It's completely incestuous and violent and tailored towards abuse towards women, without a doubt. But it doesn't hit you over the head with it because we've seen worse. But the behavior and the actions are horrible in this one, and the story is interesting. But I like the fact that they say up front, here's what this is about. You don't need it, but I don't mind.
No, you don't need it. And that's just that usually in films like this, you don't see something like that. People take it and they go, oh, yeah, this is allegory for this, etc. And that's what people like about these films, watching the movie and taking something from it. By putting it there up front, I don't know, it's just an unusual decision. Usually you don't see that. And I think it's a feminist film more than anything, which is fine. You know what I mean? I just don't think I needed it told because it was just there in the subtext. I don't know. It's a nitpicky thing. C and I would rather it not be there. You're okay with it.
I'm okay with it, especially in a year where there's been so many artistic films where I feel like the subtext and the meaning of the film is lost, at least on me.
Okay. Because you're going to start talking about the couple. We have mentioned that a few times this year.
I mean, look,
right.
yeah, we brought it up a bunch of times. Maybe it was just that, okay, like, you don't need it. Like, you can interpret what's going on. It's especially evident when they give you the backstory of Talia, who is the image for the infernal princess, who's the daughter of the crazy general. Is it a general?
Yeah, I think it's
the crazy general father who wants this doll made in her image to, protect her innocence for all time and keep her beautiful for all time. So he hires this Alexander guy to do it, to build this automaton in 1 week for £1 million. So it's very evident there, and you could just see there, just with his stare and his facial expressions, that there's, a creepy underlying incestuous thing here. My issue with the film comes back to the modern day. You got Dr. Cole, Brendan, who's hired to authenticate the doll, and he doesn't believe in the story, but he's hired to authenticate the doll, and he has his stepdaughter Rose with him. I would have liked more flashbacks of Brendan and his wife, who was Rose's mother, who passed away, and Rose coming of age then, so it sort of drew parallel to what we're seeing in the flashbacks of the general and Talia. Do you understand what I'm saying?
I do, but I don't think they wanted to keep reminding us of that.
But you know what? At times it feels like, because it's almost like they talk about in the warning at the beginning, they almost talk about how, generations of this type of behavior can breed and continue on and on. But here we have Brendan, who really doesn't seem like he displayed any of his erratic, crazy behavior until he was exposed to this doll.
Which makes sense.
Which makes sense which kind of makes sense. It doesn't make sense if you're talking about this being bred over a long period of time, because that would mean it was just a madness and not something that continued down throughout time.
Yeah, but it affected both of them. So something's at hand here. It's not just...
No, the general was sick.
I don't mean the general. I'm talking about the daughter. I'm talking about Rose. Her behavior was the same thing. She wasn't acting normal. She was under the influence of whatever was going on as a result of the doll being in the house. You think she acted like that normally? She even said, "I'm sorry for my behavior. I don't. You know what I mean?" She couldn't even explain it. So
I know, but that really draws issue then with the opening warning. Then
I don't care about the one. That's what I'm saying. There you go. I disregarded it right away. I just got into the movie and I forgot about it until C brought it up that it was there, or you brought it up. However we got onto that warning, once the film began, that was all out the window. I had forgotten, because we got into those soldiers and everything else, and then I came out of it. Like Christian was saying, he fell out of it. And I don't know if he came back.
I didn't. I know. I definitely didn't. I was no. It's not. It was just not my cup of tea, and I almost feel bad for just coming out here and like visually. That's why I want to keep going back to visually. It sounded good, but like like those war scenes were a little rough with the CG blasts and smoke and everything else. Like, just don't do it. If you don't have the budget, don't do it. It's not. I would rather of them trim that right out of it altogether.
I agree. Yep, you could make it an hour and 20-minute long movie instead of an hour and 35.
Well, the war scenes are a little dragged out, and that's why I wanted that trimmed back and more flashbacks of the Cole family for lack of. I don't know if Rose is sharing that name, but
I don't know. It would have been okay, but the thing is, how long do you think you were together?
Well, that's the thing. You brought up the point that and you pointed out that I'm aware of it, but now that I'm putting it together and thinking about it. Her behavior is erratic as well, so maybe there wasn't anything there beforehand, and that's why we don't need it. So you're actually kind of helping me out by saying what you said.
And I don't want to think about them as father and daughter, even though it's a stepdaughter. I don't want to think I want to think. Did they say how long he was with the woman for? Like how long?
No, they never said. But it seemed like they had a genuinely healthy, nice relationship. But except for and this is the one thing that hurts it, even though I like what you said, this is the one thing that hurts your argument. There is that whole red dress. It is kind of innocent, though, the whole red dress scene at their house before they go to authenticate the doll, where, you know, he's like, is that one of your mother's? And they're slowly trying to suggest, but maybe that's in your head because of the warning. Maybe if you're watching that scene without knowing anything, it just plays off as an innocent, oh, that was one of your mother's dress. That's nice.
Right. And I don't want to think about him being in her life since she was a little girl. I like to think that it was a marriage of only 5 years. And when he got with the girl, or when he got with the mother, she was, I don't know, 16. And now this girl's 21.
So it's not Woody Allen. It's not a Woody Allen situation.
Right. I don't want to think that because, dude, it's true. I don't want to think about him raising her from little girl because then it seems creepy. I don't want to be creeped out watching those scenes, mostly because I dig Rose. And I don't want to think about her. I don't want to think about it being perverted. I want to think about it. I almost want to make an excuse as to why it's happening.
Because you know, I agree with you. I almost see the relationship as like a short one. Yeah, Rose. Rose was fantastic. She's beautiful. Man.
The horror definitely takes a back seat here. It kicks in a little bit more on the second half, but I don't know. Horror is not the main focus of this movie, in my opinion. I wouldn't classify this as a horror film.
What? No, I would. It just takes time to get going. Everything with the doll and all the creepy stuff going on with it.
It's a sick, twisted love story,
dude.
And that doll, those scenes with the actress playing the automaton. Oh my God! Especially that dance scene. You know what it reminded me of? I love that scene because they go through the 5 acts. She has to authenticate these 5 acts, so one of them is a dance that she does. And I don't know why, like it's not as dramatic, but it's creepy looking, and it just reminded me of Us, at the end of Us when
what about the movie Us?
The movie Us.
What about Us? I think it meant like Us 3. It reminded me of Us.
No, Us the movie. Okay. At the end when she's paralleling her dance underground to above ground, doing I guess they're doing like Swan Lake, and it's like the black swan versus the white swan.
Yeah.
I love it.
A little, what's that film called?
Black Swan.
Black Swan. Right, Black Swan.
Sleepless?
Because they're doing Swan Lake and Black Swan also.
and Sleep. Oh, boy, oh, boy, oh, boy. You know, the other day I heard a song, and
they did Swan Lake and Sleepless, which we'll get to later.
We just said that.
That's something.
Oh, did you? I wasn't listening to you. Sorry.
Speaking of that, though, of Us, the other day I heard a song, and it made me really upset. It reminded me of The Way We Were. Yeah.
Silent Pictures.
Yeah, that's right. I put up a lead. I was hoping that someone was going to say what song, and I was going to say The Way We Were. It was a bad joke, but I was going to say... Actually, it's such a bad joke that it's taken from The Jerk from back in 1981. But it just popped off the top of my head. Anyway. Sorry, I failed. I've been failing a lot today. That's why it's Absolute Dave tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Woo!
Christian, you aren't at all intrigued, especially as he's investigating the doll. He really finds it hard to find the mechanisms that are controlling her. And I mean, I picked up on it, and I'm like, this isn't a doll at all. This is, I'm picking up on what's going on here, but it's still creepy as hell.
I was in a slump when I watched this, so I don't know what it was. I put it on, and I was like intrigued at the very beginning, and then within 10 minutes, I was like, "What the fuck?" And I never came out of the "what the fuck" moment. Nothing in this movie was intriguing to me. I didn't give a shit about the story at all. At all. I'm going to be in the minority here, but it was just the way it was presented to me. I might be contradicting myself because I'm saying I like the look of the film. I think he's very talented. But for whatever reason, the way the story unfolded was not remotely interesting. I was bored thoroughly. Okay. And when I'm bored thoroughly, my mind wanders, and I'm not invested whatsoever in the story at all. So no, I wasn't. And then when the woman's head starts tweaking and turning and switching, great. I just felt like we've been there and saw that from other films before.
I loved it.
I figured you would. I figured you and Jason Smith would love this movie. It'd be like their number ones of the year or something like that. But I just was not into it.
picking on my boy Jason now.
I know. What's up with that? Who did Jason pick? Oh yeah. So we were talking about that thing earlier. I won't wait till the first break. Forget about it.
Yeah.
It's on the. Don't forget. I want to know about that thing.
Yeah, we'll definitely talk about it after
there was
we
a
finish
vote
this
on the
review.
page. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So anyway, see, you know that I'm down. I can relate to that. When I check out of a movie, I know. I believe I'm the king of that. So I know, and it did happen to me. Like I said, the first 10, 15 minutes, I was like that in this movie. And then I was like, well, I'm getting closer. And I remember telling you guys, I haven't even taken a note yet. And I'm thinking, I don't want to come on a show and be half-assed because.
Is that what I am? Yeah, I am half-assed. But when Derek recommends a movie, I actually take Derek's recommendations quite well because he's never really led us astray with a lot of what he's picked. There's been another one that we didn't necessarily see like eye to eye, like to the level that he thought. But this has probably been, and Derek, don't take this personally. It was just because, again, visually beautiful. Just it was a misfire for me from a story element, story structure.
That's a fair criticism. It really is. What kept me in is that as it went on, I noticed that it was getting more colorful. That I was watching paintings. It was almost like watching a series of paintings on the screen, and it was kind of like a Bava movie.
Exactly. It had
a Hammer film.
Yeah, it had an Italian Hammer look. Very, very good. And
an Italian Hammer, not a hammer, but I mean, come on.
Like Dave's Italian Hammer.
Yeah, straight urinary tract.
It gave me a urinary tract infection.
Boom. That's what it
Boom.
Nailed it.
And just the fever dream and the haunting and the nightmare of what's going on in this house was great. I loved, there's one image where, he's having an interaction with Rose and he's, talking to her and she's very mad at him and she's like, oh, I wonder why I'd be behaving like this. And you see scratches on her back suggesting that the behavior has already begun before you even see it later on in the movie.
Well, we see the whipping going on in the flashback.
But you see scratches on her back before that.
Oh.
Before that scene at the end where she's whipped.
It's like they're both getting the same visions and then they flash back and she calls him daddy and then they come back to the movie to the real time and she calls him daddy like only after that.
Yeah.
And it's in a sexual way just like it was done in the past when we saw it done there when she was being whipped. So but then he was flashing to something with his wife and it got a little confusing and that's okay. I'm not discrediting it for that. And I was going in and out. It could have been a little bit quicker. So I'm kind of in the middle. I think C is obviously going to come in the lowest. B's going to come in the highest, and I'm going to be in between. I think that's where I'm falling in. I can totally see both of your opinions. So this is like almost like a perfect kind of review. One guy's here, one guy's here, one guy's here. You know what I mean?
Perfect.
So it doesn't happen much, really. It doesn't really happen that much that one guy's like high. You know what I mean? Like a 987 or something. I don't know. Doesn't happen that much when we do reviews. It's usually we're all on the same page, or it's 2 against 1, or I don't know. It's just weird, but that's how I feel. I
think there's more positive than negative in this for me. I'm not saying it's nowhere near a perfect film for me. I don't think I'm as high as people think. It's not my number one film of the year by any means. But I like you said, I love this director's vision. I think he's doing stuff that maybe some stuff we've seen before, but I think he's got his own artistic vision, and it really shows every time he put on one of his films. And I've seen one of his other films, The Unkindness of Ravens, which also stars the same actor in it, and I was not a fan of it the first time I saw it.
Really?
I have not gone back to revisit yet. Black Gloves I loved, Unkindness of Ravens I did not, and this one I'm sort of in between the two in terms of
okay. I like Black Gloves more, for sure. Watching this movie makes me wish that the Black Gloves, although this might sound weird to some people, but it makes me wish that Black Gloves was filmed in color. Because seeing the way he did things in this movie with the colors, although Black Gloves seems to be better suited as a black and white movie, for some reason that was a more interesting story to me. So I almost wish I could see that with his flair for the color.
Yeah,
you know?
It's so gothic, the Black Gloves, that it almost
it
almost belongs in black and white. But I understand it would have still looked beautiful. It would have looked amazing if it had this color palette as well.
Yeah,
and the same actress who played Talia was in Black Gloves, and she was great too.
She looked different here though, but I picked it up later that it was her.
And she looked very automatonous.
Yes. I don't know.
Autonomous. Hippopotamus.
Oh boy, indeed. So I don't think Christian's gonna have much more to say. I don't know what else can I say. I mean, let me look at my notes and see if there's anything that.
How about the mutilation scene?
That was cool. Yeah.
It reminded me of Salo, especially with that tool that they reach in to grab the tongue. I don't know if either of you have ever seen Salo.
I own it and still have not watched it.
Yeah, it's honestly, it's a film that once you'll probably watch it once, you'll probably be like, why do I even have this in my house? It really is one of those. It's an intriguing film, and you kind of want to know more, but you really don't ever want to watch it again.
I've watched Scarface, where it says, "Say hello to my little friend."
Say hello?
Say hello to my little friend.
Say hello to my little friend.
Say hello to my little friend.
Oh, man. This
Sorry.
motherfucking skunk.
Well, that was good. It just took me a second. It took B.
Jason, yeah, I had to say it. Jason, get the skunk memes out.
This is going to be his number one of the year, if he gets to see it.
Could you imagine? So anyway, there were some creepy shots too in this movie, much like there were in Black Gloves, just not as many. There was a couple little things. Every time she clicked or moved, it was that scene at the end when he was chasing the soldier down the hall. That stuff going on, that was freaking bad.
How about when she appears at the door? You know it's coming. You're staring into that black, and oh man, I love it. It's very very Halloween-esque.
Oh yeah, definitely. And that part later when the hand comes over the door and closes it.
Yeah, I really that's one of the things that raised the score for the movie is the actual ending. What?
Yeah, it was weird, but I liked it. But
I liked it. It was almost like a redemption, and I liked it. I like that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
like a dark, happy ending.
Mm-hmm. Yep, and I liked Rose. I liked when she was acting all batty and stuff, and when she was getting all dressed up. So that added a little something to the film for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I dug her.
Naughty Rose.
Yeah, naughty Rose indeed.
Thank you.
So, okay, so I think we can ratings. I always that's. I think Jeremy gets a boner every time he says that on the show because he can't wait to get the fucking review done with.
He tries to start with ratings.
So we're doing head ratings, right? Because it's a new one.
Head.
Oh yeah, we are doing heads because it's new. You're right. Good call. See. All right. Yeah.
This is where I always screw up because if it's sort of right smack dab in the middle, it's a mild rumble still.
I'll tell you right now. I'll make it.
I confuse my own.
I have it written down.
Did I come up with this shit?
To be honest, I don't even know what the numbers are anymore.
I got it right here, so everybody can, all the listeners could know. Okay, a full head explosion is 8.5 to 10.
Okay.
A half head is a 7 to an 8.25. A mild rumbling is a 5.5 to a 6.75. Body convulsions 4 to 5.25. And imploded head 3.75 and below.
Body convulsions. That one's so funny. It just doesn't seem like it fits.
All right. Well, I'm at the high end of a body convulsions and the low end of a mild rumble, I guess.
I still don't know what that number would be. He just said it, and I still don't.
Yeah.
I'm at a half head explosion.
I'm barely at a half head explosion, but I'm at a half head.
Oh, he gave his.
I'll give it a mild rumble. I'll give it a mild rumble because this guy is trying to do stuff that is not being done by the masses. So for that, I respect it, and it's visually really nice to look at. So I want to give kudos where kudos is due.
I don't like kudos. Can I have a Kit Kat instead?
No.
I actually do like kudos. I love kudos.
They still make kudos or no?
I don't know, but they used to come in that 3-pack. They had the peanut butter ones and the chocolate chip ones.
Kudos, I'm yours. Remember that commercial?
Was that really?
I think that's supposed to be an American treat because we never had that here.
It was an American treat.
It was one of the commercials. It is an American treat. It's definitely not Smarties. When you eat your Smarties, do you eat the red ones last? How's that?
Yeah, thank you. Memories.
I love how Dave always talks about how he has the worst memory, yet he remembers every classic TV commercial from like 30 years ago.
I do. It's true.
Yeah,
I remember anything from like the age of like 5 and below. Any commercial, any song for a cartoon, anything from childhood. Probably because childhood.
I don't want to grow up. I'm a Toys R Us kid.
Toys R Us kid. They got a million toys at Toys R Us that I can play with. I don't want to grow up because, baby, if I did, I couldn't be a Toys R Us kid. More kids. More toys, more games. Oh boy.
In receivership.
More kids, please, more kids. Victor Salva. Sorry.
Salivating.
That was my version.
Oh, wow.
Boy.
Jeepers,
So anyway, yes.
creepers, more kids, please.
Jesus Christmas.
So anyway, there you go. That's The Devil's Machine. Thank you, B. Or B. Derek B.
Oh, that was Derek. I was going to say, didn't you mean Scott? Because I'm still going in order in my head.
Oh, that order. Okay. All right. Well, anyway, now let's talk about it while it's fresh on the heads.
Fresh on the heads. Yeah, let me see if I can...
that should be a gimmick on this show, right?
Fresh on the heads.
You know? Instead of Z swings, we'll do it fresh on the heads.
News breaking.
News breaking here. Fresh on the heads. That should just be something like what
Walk
you thinking about? Walk dogging. What you been thinking about lately? Fresh on the heads.
What you been thinking about, Willis?
Willis Wheeler. He says, I'm thinking about I hate Midsommar. Anyway.
I think I'm with
I don't like the witch.
All right, here it is. Okay, it actually was a post by Jason Smith 20 hours ago. When you listen to the podcast, who do you find yourself agreeing with the most on their opinions towards the films they're discussing? This isn't about favorites, just purely who you match up with. Now I'm going to read the name and the number of votes, and it's going to be pretty...
This is our podcast.
This is pretty shocking stuff, and I'm going to tell you what's shocking about it after.
Really? Ooh.
I have... Well, you add the 11. So I have 14 votes. Christian has 20 votes. And Dave has 25 votes. And the most shocking thing about this poll is absolutely nothing. Because, of course, Dave Z wins every fucking time.
That's right. Z swings. The Z Nation. But it's not about favorites. It's true blue. They listen and they say, hey, I agree with his ratings the most.
Christine even gave you the vote, Dave. She gave you the vote and a Black Phillip. She gave Christian a Black Phillip, and she gave me nothing.
You know you're next, buddy. You know you're going to get the biggest thing of all.
Oh, a big
Christine didn't give me a Black Phillip. That came from Michael J.
Fox?
Yeah, Michael J. Fox. Michael J. Rabbit in Red. My homie.
Is it a shaky Black Phillip? I'm sorry.
Oh,
that's a bad
get him off the show.
No, it's one... it's a gimpy
Canadian icon, you fuck.
Unbelievable.
Hey, I watched the Michael J. Fox show. That was the worst show in the history of television.
I did not watch it.
Oh, it was bad. Every joke was up.
The worst show on television is Jersey Shore, you fuck.
Yeah. Right. Right.
Imagine if Brandon was on Jersey
Snooky
Shore.
loving prick.
The Situation almost ran over a friend of mine.
Really?
Yeah, he was driving his Ferrari and almost ran over my friend.
Well, here's the fucked up part. The Situation was my brother. Because that was the nickname I gave him years ago, long before that show ever came on. I used to call him Mr. Situation. And his name is Mike. Isn't that guy's name Mike, too?
Yeah.
Well, there you go, yeah. So the original Mike Situation was actually my brother Mike, believe it or not. For years I called him that, because he always had some situation going on. And I always tell him that. There he is, Mr. Situation. I would always tell him. So anyway, yep, something else I got.
What was your nickname?
I don't know. I don't think he gave me a nickname.
Huge cock.
Huge cock.
Somebody gave me that nickname, not my brother. I promise you that. One of the women that had to drink cranberry juice because of the UTI action. You know.
That should be a Patreon perk. Just for like $50 they get to either. Well, no, for $50 they get to see it, and for like $100 they get to
jack off to it.
Yeah, jack off to it, and for like $1,000 you get to give them a urinary tract infection.
How much?
1,000?
Could Scott get one?
I think my wife would go for that.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah,
what if it's Scott? Okay I think we have like Scott? We have two women on the Patreon. Every other this is a guy.
Well, it can't be a guy because I can't give a guy urinary tract infection.
That's what I'm saying. It'll be pretty funny.
You can try though for that kind of money.
For $1,000 you're gonna try, and we're still splitting it 3 ways.
That's true. What am I doing for you guys? Oh. I will show it for $50 though. That is a fact. Yes. Anybody wants to see it for $50? There you go. Patreon. What's up with the Patreon? Oh, anyway. Oh, it's over with. So I took first place by a little bit. It was close.
Yeah, 25-20.
It's over already?
Well, I don't know. When did it start? I'm deactivated at the moment, so I don't know.
No, it was 20 hours ago. There's still random votes popping up here and there. I'm sure there'll be more, but really no surprise. I'm looking at the people who voted. It's all our loyal listeners.
Good.
I looked at them.
Well,
I barely recognized half the names.
Really?
we have more listeners than you knew. A lot of people.
Talking about it's Jerry Cortez, Rebecca,
Who?
James Cow.
What did Jerry go for?
Jerry voted for me, motherfuckers.
Did he? Damn you, Jerry. He's still mad at me.
Christian got the Ram Man?
Yeah.
Christian got the Ram Man?
That's what I'm saying.
Wow.
At least the people
Goddamn.
that voted for me, I recognize the names.
Well, see? There you go. These are people that were the Z Nation before they even heard of you, and they're going to you. So
I
it's
got
not biased.
Raphael.
Cult of Luciani.
I win. I got Rafa. I got Rafa. Oh, and my boy Brandon Young.
You got Brandon Young?
I got Brandon Young, and I got Lacey Lou in second round.
Yeah,
pick.
Lacey Lou.
Lacey Lou felt bad for you. Come to me, my children.
I want to know who I got. It seems like everybody I know was going to you guys.
You got some big
tell
names.
you.
You got some heavy hitters. You got Marco. You got Bill Castanelli. You got Christine.
Oh,
You got Jim K.
oh wow. There
Jim
you
from
go.
Toronto?
Okay.
Did he get Jim from Toronto?
I got Jim K and Jim from Toronto, I think.
Well, fuck both of them.
Oh, by the way, Jim from Toronto. Well, not just Jim from Toronto. That made me think of iTunes. We have 163 on iTunes. We're really, really trying to get 200 by show 100. So people, please just. I know some people say I don't have iTunes, this and that. You can have iTunes for 10 seconds of your life. It's no big deal. Any computer can download iTunes. Go on your damn computer. Please download the iTunes and give a rating. And if you put a rating in there, then we're having a big giveaway when we hit 200, and we want it to be on show 100. Is it going to happen? I don't know, but it would be really cool, don't you think? So just join iTunes for a minute. Give us a review and a write-up, and because we're close, man. 163 last time I checked. That's not too much to ask for. An 8 show, I think we could do it.
Do it.
You know?
We don't have to do nothing. You've got to do it.
Yeah, guys, please
Listeners.
do it. Yeah,
My
please do.
children.
And join the Patreon too. Oh, my children now. You know?
What movie?
Yeah, man.
What
Get
movie,
on there
Brandon?
and join the Patreon. Okay, what movie? Fine. I'll stop shilling. Go ahead. Do a movie.
There's four letters on my joint.
162? How do we lose a rating? What the hell?
Oh, we're never going to make it now.
How do you lose a rating?
What is that? What is that quote? I know that.
Oh, my God.
This is a joke, right?
You got to be kidding me.
What?
We've
Are
stumped
you
you on this.
serious?
Like,
We've done this.
I know. I can't remember.
It's yours, the twirling lawnmower. Come on, how's that? Does that help you?
there's 4 letters in my name. How there's room on your rod for 4 letters?
Room on your rod?
No, I just...
You just gave it away.
He still doesn't know. Who's rod?
Oh, Nightmare on Elm Street. Yeah.
What is a room on your rod? You know? Rod's rod.
The same quote stumped him again.
What do you mean? You stumped me once with that?
Yes.
Oh, my God.
I have a bad memory. I genuinely have a bad memory. You guys talk about having bad memories, but you really don't.
This is actual evidence of your shit memory. I mean, that's crazy.
And Nightmare on Elm Street is one of my favorite movies.
What's that from? What's that from?
Rod's rod.
Yeah.
There's 4 letters on your rod. Or
No, you're saying it too. All right, let's do another.
Let's do another.
May I have
Do another. All right, let's do Blood Rage.
What did you say? Leverage?
Yeah, leverage.
Blood
We're
Rage.
going to do leverage next.
I didn't watch a movie called Leverage. What are we doing here? What is this?
10 out of
Blood
10.
Rage from 1987, directed by John Grisham. As kids, Todd is institutionalized for a murder whilst his twin goes free. 10 years later, on Thanksgiving, Todd escapes and a killing spree begins in his neighborhood.
Institutionalized. Oh, sorry. Well,
You go ahead, B or D or whoever.
Whoever the fuck you are.
Yeah.
Or Rod.
Yeah.
This movie,
Watson.
Rod the Bod. This movie was number 17 on my top 50 slashers when we did it. So you know that I'm kind of high on it. I remember.
I don't know where it was on my list, but I feel like it's probably dropped down a little bit on it.
Oh, really? Did this view drop it down a bit?
I feel like it does.
It's missing from my list, I believe.
Missing completely. So, in your opinion, Prom Night 4 is better than Blood Rage? Wow.
I might start to agree with that.
What?
Here's the reality of it. This movie's like a train wreck. This movie's the Plan 9 from Outer Space of slasher films. It's so bad, but you can't divert your attention away from it. There's something about it that just makes you want to watch it. but it's by no means good.
For a slasher,
it's the gore. It's the gore. It's got got really good gore.
It's the gore and the matter-of-fact acting. It's so matter-of-fact. Oh, I'm just going to go kill this guy, lop this guy's head off, do all in a day's work. It's just so matter-of-fact. You're like, there's no suspense. There's no scares. It just unfolds in front of you. But it's damn entertaining for some reason.
Indeed. It's a slasher in every sense of the word. If you want to see a slasher...
In the title, too.
Right, true. Right, it is in the title, slasher, right. This is a slasher done right. There's no denying this is a slasher movie. This is what they should be. I wish there were more like this. Well, what do you want? You got kids, you got naked girls, and you got freaking gore. What else do you want in your slasher?
A couple of scares would be nice, but there's no scares in this.
Yeah, a little tension. A little less Louise Lasser.
Is that the mom? The mom who they keep cutting back to on the phone for the better part of the movie?
She was married to Woody Allen.
Really?
Yeah.
She was married to Woody Allen.
Yep.
Then he took a look at those choppers and ran for the fucking hills.
Oh my God, she's so overly dramatic in a film that is so ridiculously bad in acting. It just doesn't fit. Half the time she's on the phone making wrong calls.
This is a real emergency. You're not listening to me, operator. This is a real emergency. I find fucking humor in it at this point.
I find humor in you finding humor in it.
See, next time you watch it, you'll get humor in that. The way she it's funny. And why is she calling when he's like freaking he's the manager of the apartment complex? Isn't he just a few doors down? Why is she calling?
Seriously, he is a few doors down. And the funny thing is when he first introduces himself to the doctor, like you don't know like he's the manager of the complex, so he sticks his head out the door. He's like, "I'm the manager here," and you're like, "What are you, the manager of the family?" Like it came off so weird.
The family.
Oh, and I mean, who goes on a date and brings their, 11-year-old twins?
Twins?
Todd and Terry. I'm talking about the
situation. I'm sorry. I'm thinking later on in the film with the girl. Forget it. I'm sorry.
It's so ridiculous. It's like, if you can't get a babysitter, you don't get to go on a date this night.
Well, it's a drive-in. Drive-ins are famous for kids falling asleep in the back seats of the
Little kids. These are they look like they're 17, actually, when they get out of the car.
Well, I'll tell you what, freaking Todd's so feeble-minded, you would think that he's half there. I can't believe he just stood there while freaking Terry, after he kills the kid, he just smashes blood on his face, wipes blood on his face and hands him a knife.
Well, what if you were 11 years old? What if you were 11 years old and you and the situation went to the movies? I'm talking about your brother. And you're like, okay, little bro, let's go out and explore. They're not paying attention. Let's get out of here. And just for no reason, he's like, I'm gonna take this hatchet and completely mutilate and murder this guy having sex.
And run away immediately.
Or you'd be in extreme shock.
Okay, so you pass it off as shock. Okay.
Yeah, complete shock. Just like, what the fuck did I just witness?
It's so fucking batshit crazy. It comes out of nowhere. They're like, let's just go goof around. And then if they left, this guy wouldn't have killed anybody. But for some reason, he sees two people smooching, and what it didn't, his mom and the guy didn't turn him off or make him go on a killing rampage. But these two fucking in the car, he just wants to put that hatchet right into the guy's face. It's gory, it's fun to watch, but it's so ridiculous. It's so fucking ridiculous. This movie makes me laugh every time. I'm laughing at it, not with it.
Oh.
I'm in between. Look, I don't hate this movie as much, but it's like the tone of the film. Like it is a goofy, ridiculous film, but there's parts of the film like then all of a sudden we're in the doctor's office and mom comes to visit Todd and talk with Dr. Berman or whatever her name is and
Chris Berman?
And it's just like a 5-minute voiceover monologue.
Oh.
It is funny in the beginning.
So
that narration.
That.
That's what I'm saying. It's Plan 9 from Outer Space. I don't hate this, Brandon. Don't take what I'm saying as a hate. It's such a train wreck, like Plan 9 from Outer Space. Yeah. Oh, shit, we can't make sense of this? I'm just going to narrate over this whole sequence now.
I found that very funny. I was laughing at a lot of things.
But that's what I'm saying. It's so crazy and intriguing at the same moment.
It really is. It is.
Okay. I'll come clean. I've only seen this movie this is probably the 5th time I've seen it. The first time I saw it was not that long ago. And by when I say not that long ago, within the last 5 years. So it's kind of a lost gem of a
Same with
slasher
me.
that somehow got by me. What's that?
Same with me. Although when I did see it, I remembered the opening scene, but I didn't remember the rest of the movie. So I don't know if that opening scene was on a compilation disc or something like that. But I don't remember the rest of the film at all. So it was it was either right before we started recording this podcast or when we started recording this podcast. And I think Jason Lloyd kept going off about it because he loves it so much.
Yes, I remember. Yes. Jason Lloyd, it was new to him too. He said, I can't believe no one's talked about this movie before. So all of a sudden, I think it became made available. I mean, the Blu-ray hadn't been out yet. So I don't know how he saw it at first, but all of a sudden.
Yeah, it says it was distributed by Jason Lloyd.
Yeah. Horophilia freaking, now owns a... and
it even has a quote from Jason Lloyd on the cover. 7.5.
Inches.
Awesome.
I love reading Jason Lloyd reviews. Every movie, it's a nice long paragraph. You read the review, and every rating is a 7.5. This is the most abominable movie I ever saw. 7.5. This is a masterpiece of modern cinema. Sorry, folks, I forgot to take the phone out of the room. It's ringing. This is a modern masterpiece.
Who is a home phone?
7.5. Yeah, he's calling me now.
Answer the phone. It is Jason. He can reach in. This is unfriended. It's him. He's gotten through to you.
Is that rotary dial? Who the fuck has a landline anymore?
We keep a landline in my house. In fact, I use a landline more than I use my cell phone. I hate cell phones.
I don't blame you. Fuck
I hate
cell
them.
phones.
I hate them.
Well, the best thing about cell phones is you can always have the ringer off like I do. And then
I keep it off all day, every day.
That's the beauty of cell phones, though. That's what I'm saying. You don't have to answer the phone or answer a text until you want to. A landline, you have to answer it when it rings.
Yeah.
You get it?
I don't realize that I'm being annoying to people because I'm sending animal memes and GIFs all day and night, and people sometimes get mad, and I'm like, why do you have your ringer on? Like, mine's always off. So
Shut off your notifications. If you're in a chat, every chat that I have, even the one with you guys, every chat that I'm in, the notifications are off. I have 0 notifications on my phone. So when I get in the mood to freaking entertain myself in any way, shape, or form, I grab my phone and I open the thing that takes me to what I want to entertain myself with. You know what I mean? I don't make myself, I don't make that thing my master. You have to know how to master the cell phone. Don't let it master you. That's all I got.
7.5 out of 10 for the cell phone.
7.5, Jason Lloyd. So when this movie came around, the first time I saw it, it was like a lost gem. So because of the gore, I was like, holy shit. Now we're talking. Look at this kill. Look at the kill of the manager, of that guy with his brain in his head.
Yeah.
Is an amazing kill. Holds up still. I've seen it.
It is a great kill, and I appreciate the sense of humor of Terry at that point because he kind of he props him up on his nub, like he's like stays there thinking.
He stays there for the fucking hours.
He does. But then when he falls and his head splits, it makes sense. Like, because at first I'm like, what, he cut his head off? He bled to death, and he just sat there thinking? Like, he didn't even, attempt to call, but I didn't realize it until, the first time you see it when he falls over. It's like, oh, he's been split down the middle.
So that's what it is. That gore is great.
It is.
So I saw this movie. It's like there's a gory slasher that I have never seen, and I'm only discovering it at this age. So that really impressed me. So I put it kind of on a pedestal. Now, each view since, it's not been... I can't reach that level that it was the first time. I still like it a lot. It would not be my number 17 slasher film. It would probably still be on the list. It definitely would be. But it'd probably be in the 40s at this point. Maybe
I honestly think I had mine in the 70 to 90 range. I think it was somewhere in there. But
it was going to make your... Because it was top 50 slashers.
Top 50.
No, I didn't.
Did you mean to say 30, 40 instead of 70, 90?
No. I don't know what I meant to say.
What the fuck is wrong with this guy tonight?
I don't know. He's stroking out.
I think I rated it as 6.5, 6.75.
Oh, maybe that's it. Maybe I
it just
rated it between a 7 and a 9.
That's the rating you're talking about. Yeah, 7.5. I rated it an 8 when we did it on the Slasher show. And I'm just saying, I still enjoy it, but I understand that, I don't know. There are some things that are a little bit drab about it, but it does have a charm, and it does have a lot of unintentional humor.
That's exactly it. The unintentional humor is what keeps you going. Like, I could watch this over and over. You reintroduced me. I had heard of Slaughter High Dave, but I never watched it until you were so high on it. And I started watching it. I haven't watched it now in the last year, but I had watched it probably 3-4 times since you kept bringing it up. And this movie, same thing. It's got that same similar kind of charm to it. This one I like better than Slaughter High, though.
Did you see Laughter High, though?
That's the movie we should make, Laughter High.
You know what I really appreciate in this movie, and I think you'll appreciate that I appreciate this, because, you know, I got a lot of heat for the Halloween comment about too many pumpkins, and now every time I see too many pumpkins, I go crazy. The Thanksgiving dinner meal that they prepared, didn't it just look like a nice, normal amount of food?
Yeah,
Not a gluttonous amount of shit that we all have now at our Thanksgiving dinners, where we have 75 dishes and we all eat till we're physically sick. They had turkey. I looked at this. I'm like, this is a nice looking meal.
And no one wanted it. Everybody hated it. It seemed. And I love when they get the phone call.
Mom ate it in front of the kitchen spread eagle, which was the most disgusting, disturbing scene in the whole movie.
The best part is when she goes to take the phone call and closes the shutters, as if that's gonna suppress the sound from no one to hear. Oh, sorry, excuse me. Close the shutters.
Did you notice that when Terry comes into the office to kill stepdad, to kill Brad, that Brad completely turns around, sees him with the machete raised in his hand, and says, "Look what the cat brought in."
Yes, he did.
Totally looking at the machete. Not even he hears him and doesn't turn around and says it. Just look what the cat brought in.
I love when the doctor's chopped in half, and yet the other brother finds her, and it literally puts her back together. Puts her back together like a puzzle. Drags her lower body back. I'm like, what the fuck's he doing?
Well, he felt bad. You want to see two things put up like that?
Plus, she took the gun from him. She took the gun from the other guy, from Jackie, the thug assistant who was ready to blow everyone's head off when they first got there. But she took the gun from him and never even fires it. And if I'm not mistaken, the gun is different, because she takes a black gun from him, goes into the woods, and then when Terry or Todd, whichever one of them picks up the gun later from that area, it's a silver gun.
Really?
Yeah. So the gun changes colors.
Wow.
But I don't know. There's just a lot of funny stuff. Just even the fact that the assistant with the gun is singing. I guess this is post Flashdance. He's singing, instead of "You're a maniac, you're a lunatic."
Yeah.
Yes, I noticed.
You're a lunatic.
Yeah, lunatic on the floor. I'm like, what? What are you doing?
It's a charming mess. You're right.
Well, it was shelved for so many years, right? Because it was made in '83, but I don't think released until '87.
Yeah.
It's too bad. I wish it would have come out. If it would have come out in '83, it probably wouldn't have been a lost gem. It probably would have been right along. It's just that it was released too late. One of those things like Intruder came out in '89, you know? But I don't know. The funny dialogue, I wrote some things down here. There is some funny dialogue. He says, what the guy says when the manager, when the mother's worried about the fact that Todd escaped. You know what he says? He's like, he's probably hiding in a closet back at school. He's not going to come here. Why would he be hiding in a closet back at school? He's going to escape on the side. What the fuck does that even mean? And then later on, okay, I wrote that. He's a lunatic on the floor. I wrote that. This is a perfect thing. The guy is leaving. The manager is leaving, and this is the exact dialogue. The mother comes out, and the manager's leaving, and he says, "I won't be long." And she says, "Okay, but just don't be long."
Really?
Literally, that is the dialogue. It's okay, honey. I won't be long. Okay, but just don't be long. Are you fucking listening to me?
Plan 9 from Outer Space, the slasher film. This is what it is, man. That's fantastic.
Dude, how about the scare? Andrea, the new neighbor, and the kid Greg, they hook up and have sex, and then they decide they're going to scare Karen and Artie. Do you see the makeup effects that she has on?
Yeah.
It's like Tom Savini came in for 6 hours and did her makeup before they... are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Something like that really made me laugh.
It was cool.
Yeah, that had me laughing.
It was cool. I love that girl, too, though. Andrea.
She's yeah.
Right? She kind of reminds me of, a knockoff Linnea. Her personality, her look.
Is she the main girl?
No, that's Karen.
The main girl is actually a pretty decent actress. Almost feels like she's slumming in this movie.
Yeah,
slumming.
she didn't do much after this. She only did 5 total things.
Yeah. How about when she meets Todd
Yeah.
and she's outside and she, you know what she tells him? She goes, "I want you to make love to me."
Yeah. Yeah.
I want you to make love to me. Oh, that boy drowned.
I love how they make him look like he's like a wet rat. I don't know what they did. Like they just like
They did a good job of making them look different just by messing with the hair.
Yeah.
It's crazy. You would think it's 2 different people playing them.
No, Todd does a real good job the way he plays that part. I think.
Yeah, I enjoy Todd more than Terry. Terry's just more.
Terry's funny though.
Yeah, he's funny, but he's clearly like a lunatic, and it's clearly related to sex and intimacy.
I could buy that. And then that same time when she says, "I want you to make love to me," you know what he says to her? He says, "I'm Todd." And what is her response? Terry's brother?
Yeah.
No. A fucking twin that's named Todd. That's not Terry's brother.
And in
Oh,
the
shit.
story she tells Greg and Artie when she gets to the car, it's totally different from what happened too.
Mm-hmm.
She basically says something like, once he came out, he looked like a lunatic and something. And like she doesn't like she didn't admit that she acted like a fool.
Right. She was like, "Oh, he came on to me." Meanwhile, she's like, and then he said that
Yeah, then he said he
he
tried
never
to kiss
kissed
me.
a girl. And she goes, "I never kissed a girl," he said. It was so creepy or something. She was coming on to him. Yeah, that was ridiculous. And speaking of cranberry, there you go. That I'm drinking it. How many times did you say it? It's great.
That's not cranberry juice.
The first time he said that, the first time he said it to himself is actually the best time. He's getting ready to take a shower, and the machete's there. No, it's on his shirt. He just looks in there and he goes, "It's not cranberry sauce." It's real low key. He just said that to himself the one time, and nobody talks about that. But later on, it is great when he sees that guy.
Yeah.
What's his name?
Artie.
Artie. It's not cranberry sauce. It's hysterical, man.
There's really no rhyme or reason for any of it, and that's what makes it so batshit crazy and enjoyable at the same time. Like, I mean, it just happens. It just happens. It just unfolds. Like, what throws him off again? The fact that his brother's coming home?
The engagement.
'Cause
Yeah,
the music
engagement.
changed.
Yeah, like it's almost
Yep.
like the thought of his mother being intimate with another man. You know, even when Karen's trying to come on to him later on, he's like, "I wonder what's on the tube."
Yeah, he went over to hang out with her. She obviously wants to get in his pants, which is kind of weird. She just met his girlfriend, but whatever. She invites him over, and he is hitting on her kind of right in front. It's almost like he's naive to the fact, like he's the feeble one now. Like he doesn't even realize why she's inviting him over, and she goes there, and she's trying to hook up with him. He's talking about the TV and everything else, and I don't know. It's weird, isn't it? And then later on, his girlfriend says something to him. He goes, "Well, you've been acting distant." He goes, "Well, I'm not acting distant now." And he's trying to get in her pants. It was weird, wasn't it?
Yeah,
the whole movie
it was
was bad.
it was very strange. Even like the funniest thing to me, and I actually wrote the timeline out of everything Andrea and Greg did. Even though they're 2 characters that are very minimal, they get together, they have sex, then they do all the makeup and they scare their friends. Then they each take a shower, change, and decide to go and play tennis before heading to the pool house to make love again. What the?
Love. Yes. I know.
Like, shit, let's go play tennis.
That is
It
weird.
almost feels like the guy had some money, asked his townhouse complex if they all wanted to make a movie, and this was the result.
Yeah.
But got some decent effects comparatively to the other slashers that were coming out at the time. Because
Yeah, the
really,
gore stuff.
most of these knockoff slashers never really delivered on the gore. Never really
Right.
did. There's like the handful like that would stand out in that regard. So that's where this one gets points. I enjoyed each and every time a little bit more.
Yeah, and Ted Raimi at the beginning selling
Yeah.
the condoms,
Yeah.
and
One
yeah,
with
the gore,
one with
the
a
gore
pin
is-
through it.
Nice.
How about Karen hiding the baby? All of a sudden, it gets quiet the minute she puts it in the
Oh, yeah.
cabinet under the sink. And if you look closely, she shuts the cabinets, but its leg is still sticking out.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny. That whole scene is weird with the mother dating that guy, and when he comes over and they're all cream de mint, and he's sitting down, and it's kind of weird.
Oh, he was such a square. She was just trying to get a rich
Square.
daddy.
Right.
But he was like such a square. He's like, "You should be drinking. We're of age. Don't worry about it." And I was glad when he got killed.
Yeah, he was just acting weird. Yeah, it was a little odd. Like they didn't have to. They didn't need quite as much time spent with them as they did. Because all they are is freaking red shirts. You just want to see him get killed, so they throw him in. You know what I mean? But the only issue is there was a couple cutaway kills, which unfortunately I don't know.
Yeah, well, hers was a cutaway kill. The woman who they were babysitting for.
Her and her daughter, Andrea too.
Yeah.
Scene. Yeah, they cut away from them too. I don't know why, but I mean the other kills make up for it. The one is great. Right after it's not cranberry sauce, Artie, and he kills that freaking guy with the machete.
Oh,
dude,
yeah.
That's great. Some good ass kills, man. Straight up. I'll tell you what's funny. That little girl. When the little girl's up and the guy sends her home and
you're gonna hurt my kitty.
Yeah, why would she say that? Who's that, me?
Todd told her to not let anyone in. So like at that part, like I respect it. All right, this girl's being smart. She said, "Don't let anyone in, no matter what." But to throw out that line, "You're gonna hurt my kitty," because she's out looking for.
That's her reason, because the cat's missing. Yeah, he's out there to kill a cat.
Little did she know that Dave Z was rescuing him at that exact moment.
That's right. That's right. Saver of kitties.
And destroyer of kitties, too, apparently.
What?
Get your cranberry sauce, ladies.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, cranberry juice.
It is cranberry juice. That would be my gimmick if I was single again. Oh, God. Woo. Yep, that's out of control. But, yeah, honestly, it's a slasher done right as far as the gore is concerned. And Christian... You're right. The gore is a highlight. This might make it back up to my number 17 slasher because I'm a gore hound, and that's the feature. That's the best part of the film, you know.
Yeah, and I'm a 7 out of 10.
My rating has. No. I'm an 8 out of 10. My rating has not changed.
I'm a 7 out of 10.
All right.
The gore is its saving grace, and I think Todd. I agree with you that Karen is a good actress, but Todd's portrayal I think is the best in it, and I feel bad for him given that ending. But that embrace with Todd and Mother at the end, it's too dramatic and it's too creepy.
It's kind of sad though.
It's sad, once what happens, but it's I don't know, just it gets a little creepy.
All right, that's fair. I could see that. The thing is, something else about Todd's funny, okay? But he's the right kind of funny. It's not overdone. And keep in mind, this was made in 1983. That's before they were really cracking wise.
You're talking about Terry.
Movies. Pardon me, Terry. I apologize. Okay. Yes. The cranberry sauce and some other stuff that he was saying, he had a couple of wisecracks in there. And it's like, that was kind of early. That was before Freddie started doing it in 87. You know what I mean? So yeah. I got to give it some props for that, too, because they weren't really doing that back then. So in a way, I don't know, it was one of the first that had witty dialogue from the killer. So that's one of the reasons it stays at 8 with me. It was going to drop it, but the more I thought about it, I don't know.
Charlene a little bit higher. Charlene's in the 8.5 to 9 range. I was talking
really?
About it. Yeah.
How is she? Man, I haven't seen her.
She's good. I was on the phone with her at like 3 o'clock in the morning, my time. She called me.
Yeah.
I'd be like, "What are you calling me at 3 in the morning?" But I was texting her, so she knew I was up.
We should have her on the show. That's what we should do. You know what we'll do next year for a Women in Horror Month? We'll have her on and we'll have Heather on. How's that? And a bunch of other girls.
Maybe sounds good.
Yeah, it'd be fun. Just one show with us three and like 3 or 4 girls.
You can sit over here, ladies.
Bring your cranberry juice.
Yeah. Oh, my God.
Oh, boy.
Sweet justice.
Okay. All right. Well, that's the end of that. Okay. So, real quick, we have an email and we have a voicemail. So, what the hell? Let's get on that. We have an email from John Crossley. Good day, Exploding Heads. Good day, mates. Hoping you are all well. Just a quick email to say hello and thank you for coming together and creating the best podcast, especially for all of us horror fans. Thank you.
Nice.
Yeah. The three of you have the best chemistry. It's great that you can all take a joke and take the piss out of each other and have a laugh. Aussie slang. I listen to you guys when I'm in bed, when life isn't as busy and my family are asleep. Some of the things Brandon and Christian say to each other makes me burst into laughter, which tends to scare and wake my wife. She then gives me an elbow to the ribs. See? You're affecting people's bedrooms. How about that?
Perfect.
Yeah, I really loved your last episode covering found footage film. So yeah, we're a little late on this. Sorry. I have been a fan of them ever since I watched the Blair Witch Project for the first time as a kid. It scared the shit out of me. Lots of people say it isn't scary because you don't see anything. I think those films can sometimes be the scariest films. Sometimes movies can show too much, and you realize that the creature, ghost, monster, etc. isn't as scary as what your own mind has created. Knowing there is a danger but not knowing where it is or what it looks like can be more terrifying. From all of your top 20 list of found footage, I think I found a few I had not yet seen, so thank you. I have written them down, and I will soon find time to watch them. I pulled together a list of my personal top 20 found footage favorites, and hopefully some of you haven't seen yet. Well, let's see here. So here's his top 20. Number 20, The Frankenstein Theory. Haven't heard it, but I've heard of it, but I haven't seen it. I know some people.
Me either.
Number 19, Troll Hunter.
Nice.
Number 18, Where? The Legend Reborn.
Was that
I've never
Watson?
seen Where.
Didn't Watson talk about that on ABC's A Hidden Horror?
We did talk about it on ABC's A Hidden Horror. That is correct.
Yeah, on that show.
Yeah. It's not straight up found footage. There are some parts that are, but I could see why he put it there. But yeah. The Taking of Deborah Logan at 17.
In the asshole.
Oh, boy.
Get your cranberry juice, Deborah Logan. You've been taken.
Oh, my God. 16 is Creep. I know. Look what I started. 16 is Creep. 15, Paranormal Activity, 2 through 5.
Oh.
Nice.
2 through 5, all equal.
That's a me move right there.
Right? Yeah, it is. The
Yeah,
Devil
the movies
Inside, they had 14. Wow, he's high on The Devil Inside. One of the highest.
I've never seen it. It's on Netflix.
It's okay. The ending is lackluster, but it's not bad. 13 Exists. I think we're all fans of that. 12, Cloverfield. I know we're all fans of that.
Yep.
11, The Last Exorcism. I do like that. I think it gets shit on more than it should.
No, Last Exorcism's really good, actually.
Word. I'm with it.
To the
10,
motherfucker.
Paranormal Activity, the marked ones. So he's high on that
Nice.
one. Yeah. Blair Witch, number 9. Just Blair Witch. In other words, the third movie in their franchise.
I like it too.
I like it too, and I need to watch it again.
I like it.
Are you sure he didn't just put Blair Witch and meant Blair Witch Project?
No. Don't
God
worry.
damn it, Blair Witch. I'm sorry. I'm checked out of this list now.
Really? You disliked it that much, huh?
Doesn't
I
like
despised it.
You gotta watch it again.
But I didn't check out of the list.
Wow. Okay, let's continue. Number 8, Wreck. I know there's no objections there.
Nope.
Number 7. This is a surprise. The Gallows.
Wow, your list is a wreck.
Braden's worst list of that year.
Nah, that's fair. That's fair. I'm just hoping I hear one particular film that I haven't heard yet. But
Maybe it's this one. Number 6, Digging Up Romero. I have
Digging
not
up
seen.
Romero.
Oh, Digging Up the Marrow. Sorry.
He said, digging up Romero. Like, oh my
you know
God.
what? That's a solid choice. He's just redeemed himself. That's a really good film that I don't think
I've never seen it.
It's so good. I really enjoy it.
I can't watch it. I guess they show pictures of things that I don't want to see in that movie. So, anyway. Number 5, The Visit. I like The Visit.
Nice.
Yep. Number 4, Paranormal Activity, the original.
How many paranormal? He's got more paranormal activities than there are on this list.
He's got them all, apparently.
Like 15 on there. So.
Number 3, The Possession of Michael King.
I remember someone else talking
that.
about that one too. I've not seen it.
You should see The Possession of Larry King. And The Possession of Don King. And The Possession of Burger King.
Oh my God.
And The Possession of Rodney King. All right, I'm done.
Keep it going.
Rodney King, you're not going to beat that. That's the best one. Oh, shit.
Burger King
The
was my
Possession of
favorite.
Martin Luther King.
I honestly, if he didn't say keep going on and I cracked up, then
That
I
comes
might
out
have
February.
Okay. Number 2, The House is October Built.
I like the first one. The second one.
I do too. And number 1, you already talked about it, The Blair Witch Project. Brandon, are you satisfied? Did you get what
No, it's a good list, but there's one thing. I mean, obviously, VHS 2 not being on there upsets me, but the one film that, I'm an advocate for because I saw it for the first time before I did my list is Lake Mungo. I think that movie is absolutely fantastic. And I feel like anyone who hasn't seen it should watch it.
I agree. There's no question of that. Yep, Lake Mungo indeed. Okay, guys, keep up the great work. As I said, I am a huge fan of you all. I have you 3 guys listed in order from my favorite to least favorite host.
Are you kidding?
It goes like this. My third favorite of you three is...
Brandon.
Ah, shit. The wife is calling me back to help remove a crocodile from the backyard. I'll leave it for you guys to argue the order. Take care, guys. Your mate from Down Under, John Crossley.
That was funny. That was awesome and funny.
That was fucking hilarious.
I believed you for a second. So I was like,
no, that was in the thing. He just changed it. He actually texted me. I was his favorite.
No. He took it right from the page. We just had the poll. It had to be me, and then Christian, and then B. Sorry, buddy.
Oh yeah, I'm used to it. I mean, I get people cracking jokes all the time. Just, Brandon, you're on the show? Like, when did that become a thing?
Show what?
Show what?
How are you not in on this joke?
At least you get noticed, though. At least you get noticed.
Yeah,
people talk about you all the time. Anytime Exploding Heads comes up, you come up. You're like the next thing out of somebody's mouth. If you listen to like another podcast, and you're like you're like the Urkel to Family Matters. He wasn't top billed, but he was the one everybody talked about when they talked about Family Matters. You know what I mean?
Everyone they wanted, the character they wanted dead. That's you.
Dead.
Urkel, I want him dead.
He is the face of the show, even though he wasn't top billed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? When people think Exploding Heads, they think you.
Yeah. So
that's the way it is.
That would make Christian the Reginald Vell Johnson of Exploding Heads?
Then who would I be?
What's her name?
What's her name? You know who I am? I'm the girl that went upstairs and never came back downstairs and then showed up in porno.
Oh, the sister?
Yeah.
the little sister?
You know that story? She went up the stairs on an episode.
Yeah.
Right? And she never came back down the stairs, and then she showed up in porno someday.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
They do that on a lot of shows, especially when they have like 3 siblings. When they don't renew a contract, they'll be like, we're going to get rid of a sibling. All of a sudden, next season, just a sibling is gone. And that one was one of the early ones.
I think I saw that porno, too.
I want to watch that porno. I keep
Family Matters in the Ass, I think it was called. Not a great title, but...
I thought it was anal porn, and it was called Fecal Matters.
Oh.
Just like Urkel.
Oh.
Well, I was eating fish and watching Urkel. Good old Urkel. Okay, so that's that. Now, I should put it out there. Nobody ever sends us Exploding Heads Horror Podcast at gmail.com. Our Google Voice thing doesn't work anymore. I got to redo it again. So literally, Travis Christian messaged me and said, listen, I can't get through this and that. And he called my phone. I gave him my phone number. I said, here, just call it and leave it here because our thing isn't working anymore. So
we don't accept the charges.
I don't mind giving it out. I don't mind giving out my phone number to the public, but I think my wife would get mad, so I won't do it because I'm an open book and she's kind of a closed book. That's just the way it is. So, but whatever. I'm gonna play this this message from Travis. Wait, is this him? Wait a minute, 11:20. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. It might be funny though. Hold on, let's see.
Hi Dave, this is Ginny. You gave me a urinary tract infection.
I hope you have oh my gosh. I hope my kittens are doing okay.
Wait.
That's a little girl calling to look for her lost black cat.
Yeah. Please.
Wait, that was my daughter. I hold on a minute. Hold on. Let's try this.
I saw you take it.
This is it. That was Frankie Z. Hold on.
Yeah, I recognize that was Frankie.
Okay, hold on a minute. This one here is Travis Christian, our old buddy. Hold up.
Hey, Dave, Christian, and that fucking you. Nah, just kidding, man. You're all right, even though you're you. I was just catching up on some old shows. It's been a while, and currently on show number 90. Really good show. I've been enjoying everything I've been doing. Yeah, I think it would be a positively great idea if Rob Zombie would make a remake of The Funhouse.
Word.
I'm a big zombie fan. Yeah, some of the movies haven't been that great. Lords of Salem. Halloween 2. I know a lot of you guys don't like Halloween 1, but I think it's pretty good considering the studio pretty much clipped his balls off. I mean, he just, he was very limited on what he could do. And I think in number 2, he went a little off the wall because he had full credibility to do anything he wanted to do. But,
Uh-oh.
Sorry, his phone cut me off. But anyway, I had a few too, so. But anyway,
Me too, buddy.
catching up with you guys. And another thing, I'm not a Patreon, but I really like if you guys would review Excision.
Oh, yeah.
Way back in the Banana Laser reviews, I had a request for Exploding Heads and for you guys to do a review off on Excision. I don't know if we're ever going to get that. Well, Lizelle was as busy as he is at the new restaurant and everything, but it'd be awesome. And maybe you guys could do a review, maybe get him in a gear, and maybe we could get one more Banana Laser episode. I think that'd be pretty cool. Thanks, guys. Great work. Even if you.
It's funny and terrifying at the same time, those Jew jokes in that really rich Southern accent. Like, I don't know if they're jokes or not, but I'm still laughing. But I like Travis.
You might have to send me that message, Dave, because it was kind of muffled on my end.
There were some parts I missed, but
it's muffled in general.
Okay.
Yeah,
but that's fine. We do owe him Excision. Exactly. Sorry, Brandon. But let us talk.
A good movie and let us. Shut up, Jew.
Did he make? I didn't even hear a Jew joke. Did he make a Jew joke?
I believe he said Jew a couple of times. Did he?
I think he did too.
Oh, okay. No, I think he's kidding.
I hope.
I have to watch Excision anyway this year because it may or may not be making my top 100 list. So I've only seen it once and I've liked it, and I rated it like a rating that's on the bubble. So I kind of want to watch it again. So as far as Banana Laser, you got to talk to Matt. It's tough to get us all together. We were trying to get a show together in October, and we just could not. Yeah. It's hard. It's hard to get shows going these days.
It's crazy. He's too busy doing those R-rated commentaries.
he hasn't done one of those in months. He doesn't do them anymore either. So it's tough to do. It's just tough to get everyone together, especially me. Although my schedule in the new year is going to open up a little bit. I may have a little bit of wiggle room, so we'll see.
Maybe they'll finish up the ABCs of Hidden Horror then. Finally.
Well,
we're finally up to D.
It's getting. No, we're doing X next week, and then Y and Z. Yeah.
What movies are you doing for X other than X-Ray?
X-Men trilogy.
Xylophone.
I took X-Ray, of course, the Hospital Massacre.
Of course.
And what were the other two? Shit, I forgot.
Extra, yeah.
No, believe it or not, it's not
really? Extra. I would have listened if it was Extra.
No, believe it or not, it's not Extra. Man, I wish I could. Man, I forgot what they picked. Damn it. Oh well. I don't know. I'll advertise it next time.
One sure way to tell if I'll listen is Watson a guest star again.
Is Watson on X? No, he was only on W.
Then I'm all ears.
All right, yep. You're going to have Watson back here in a couple episodes.
I know.
Get ready. And what the hell was I going to say? I don't know. Travis, we'll try to get on that. We really will. Because he did ask a long time ago, before we even had a Patreon.
Was it X the Unknown? X the Man with X-Ray Eyes?
X the Man with X-Ray Eyes is one of them.
Nice. Yeah. I just watched that recently for the first time, and it's a really terrific film.
Okay, that's one of them, and I can't remember what the third one is.
X the Unknown? X More?
Nope.
Extinction? Predator X?
No.
Those are the only movies on this X list that I found.
Damn. What is the other one?
XX? The anthology?
Nope, it's not XX. No, good guess though.
All right, I'm done guessing.
Yeah, what are you gonna do? That's all. So
Xylophone of Death.
Xylophone of Death, right? So anyway, Exploding Heads horror podcast at gmail.com. Send us an email. We'll read it on the show. Get on the Patreon. I'll throw it out there now. Patreon.com/Exploding Heads. Lots going on. Bonus episodes and whatnot. Get in on the top 100 movies of the past decade. Submit with us because episode 100 is going to be a big one. And one of these shows, I'm going to announce everybody that's involved with that because there's a bunch of podcasts and people that we're friends with and other people, podcast hosts. And
it's a good idea to have a large group of people doing the lists. I think it would kind of be, I'm not saying it would be anticlimactic, but I think people get a sense of like films that would show up on our list and just kind of pooling everything together. It'd be interesting to see where certain films fall, which films don't make it, which films show up.
It's going to be fun. And the more people that are involved with the patrons, they have a free ride. So, I mean, that's just a listener-submitted 100 movies.
Yeah.
So we'll explain more in a different time, but I mean...
Absolutely.
It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm really looking forward to that. It's going to be a big show. So
awesome.
But that's a little ways away. We have got to talk about one more movie tonight, and I'm kind of excited about it because once again we get to talk about an Argento movie.
Argento. We haven't talked about Argento since one movie with American Idol.
This is the guy that makes the cheese, right?
And now we've got another Manicarino to talk about.
Isn't this the guy that makes the cheese?
Sargento?
Oh, Sargento. Dario Sargento.
I'm getting the fuck out of Dodge.
Yeah, get out of Dodge. You don't work at a car dealer anyway. Get out of there.
Yeah. The motherfucking
more puppet / Manicarinos.
More Argento. This is one more reason why he is the man.
Yeah.
And
I've had a busy last month and a half with a lot of Fulci films that make him a strong contender, and then I watched like this. I'm like, man, he was strong even in 2001.
It's crazy.
Yeah,
it's so crazy. And not only that, this movie, I thought I saw this film. I swear I saw this film. I didn't remember a thing about it. So if I watched it, I had a Brandon moment, and I forgot everything.
You know what the crazy thing is? I knew this was the nursery rhyme film and stuff like that, and I didn't remember how the story played out, but I knew what the killer looked like. So the minute that person showed up on screen, I'm like, oh, there's the killer. So, like, I knew that, but, like, it was still fun watching because I couldn't remember how the story unfolded and how it all connected back, but really well done. I'll just introduce it real quick.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
We haven't even done
it's obviously Argento, an older retired police detective and a young amateur sleuth. He's not a young amateur sleuth. He's one of the victim's son. Team up to find a serial killer who's resumed a killing spree in Turin, Italy after a 17-year period.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How about this movie? How about the fact that Argento hadn't really done a giallo in, I don't know.
Yeah.
A little bit. And then he comes out with this.
Depends on if you consider Terror at the Opera or Opera the last one, or if Trauma you consider a giallo, which I don't think a lot of people do. So Terror at the Opera would have been the last one. And what a great return to form. In fact, this movie looks like it could have been right out of the 70s.
That's what's crazy, and I agree with you. Yes.
The whole look of it, everything about it, you're just like, how did he achieve this? 2001, the movie looks like it could have been filmed and part of his old, just a continuation of all those movies.
Yeah.
I don't know how he did it. I really don't know how he did it. And I don't know why he couldn't do it again. But I'm not complaining. I am happy we got one more great from him. And that's one more reason why.
The only thing that sounds 2001 in this, and I still like it, is the Goblin soundtrack in this one.
It's still good though.
It's still good, but it's not
Tenebrae.
It's not those,
No,
but
it's not.
One of my favorite shots in this movie, and again, we're discordant as usual, just going from all over the place, but that's okay because we never really go linear. But is when he does a tracking shot down the carpet. And you just see feet, and the music's going. It's great music, and you hear people talking like, "Hey, intermission's almost done. Intermission's almost up." And then you see feet moving and everything else, and then it just pans up, and it stops at the ballerina, like off the ground by about a foot, getting strangled, and then her fucking head comes down and lands down there on the ground. It's just mwah. That's an Argento-ism right there, and that's why he's the master.
Yeah, man. Damn it. I just get, every time I watch an Argento film like this, I just get a feeling as I'm watching it that nothing else does that for me. I wish there was more. I wish he made more movies like this. I wish there was.
There's quite a few, let's be honest.
What's that?
There is quite a few of them. He's practically remade the same film over and over and over again, but he seems to remake it and just add another little element that's a bit different. I mean, I liked it so much. Dave, I totally agree with you because I told Brandon this earlier today. I never saw the card player. I've never watched the card player, and I don't own it.
Not bad.
So I went right on YouTube, and I started watching it going, damn, this movie gets shit on, and I liked it. I didn't love it.
I agree.
But I liked it as well. I was like, yeah. And then I like Giallo. I actually like Giallo as well.
So do I. It's fine. They're fine movies. There's nothing wrong with them. They're just not on the level of even this. But I mean, or anything that came before.
The
like
killer
Giallo.
in Giallo looks ridiculous. So he looks like a jaundiced Sylvester Stallone.
Well, he's yellow.
Yeah,
Giallo.
jaundiced.
It's in the name.
He is. He's literally a Giallo.
Yeah.
They just called him jaundiced.
Fucking skunk. He doesn't even get. So, but the kill in this, with the instrument, how beautiful and gory and it's just brutal.
Dude, and it harkens back to the Animal trilogy
Wait, who's Harkin?
with the
Harping.
poetry
It's
or
harping
the
back.
nursery rhyme. You know, it's the way it's revealed. It feels like you're watching something in the Animal trilogy. It doesn't feel like Deep Red or Tenebrae. It feels to me, which is weird because they came later. You know what I mean? It feels to me like it's closer aligned with the Animal trilogy movies. I don't know why. I don't know how. It's just it's an anomaly how this movie came out. But I'm really glad it did. It was his last great film.
And it gets a lot of mixed reviews.
Yeah,
It does.
And we do. There are questions, like there are questions in most Giallos, like that opening scene after or when the whole train sequence. Let's talk about.
Oh,
the
it's
train
so
sequence.
good though.
So masterfully done. But why would the killer
But
call
how?
if he was already on the train?
I agree. That's always confused me, and I was hoping one of you guys was going to have an answer.
It was.
What do you
I think
mean?
it was a head fake. I think he was calling, going, "What's that noise? You're on a train. Sounds like you're on a train." Was he? You think he was just trying to throw her off and making it sound like he wasn't there already? But he was obviously on the train already because the train didn't
Yeah,
stop.
he's tormenting her.
That's it. You just think he's
Straight
he's
up,
head
straight
fake.
up.
He's just giving her a head fake on the phone.
Yeah.
So who's wait a minute then. Then who's chasing? I mean, isn't
No,
he
no,
there?
it is him. Brandon's saying he's just pretending that he's nowhere. Where are you? What's that
yeah,
noise
after
in the
he's
background?
after he's under the covers and he's screaming under the covers and whispering
Right.
whatever. And he notices that his file's missing, so he sees her running out the place and he follows her.
So he has a cell phone? That's what you were going to tell me?
Yeah, definitely has a cell phone. Given
Okay,
who
I
he
guess-
is, 100% he has a cell phone.
Okay, well then that excuses
And he
anything
obviously
I-
has
okay.
her number since she's a lady of the night.
Sure. Okay, well, good. Now this made this movie even
I
better
have very
because I
little
questioned
issue
it.
with anything making sense. It all connects rather nicely together and ties together. It's whether
Usually does.
people care enough, and whether it's a little bit on the long side. Which, honestly, even though it is close to 2 hours, I really enjoyed the whole thing. I was even watching the credits play out because I love movies that end like that, where the film is still continuing while the
Yeah.
credits are rolling. I love that.
Yeah.
Me too.
That's very like crime thrillers of like the 70s and 80s that used to do that.
Why is this not on Blu-ray? Because I saw it on VHS when it first came. At the time, 2000, I was working at Hollywood Video. It was right before I moved to Vegas. And it came out then. And I remember I rented the video, and it was really dark. And I couldn't see shit. It was a real dark VHS. Now I have the DVD, and it's still dark. I mean, it's not as dark as the VHS, but I don't get why this does not get. We got all these fucking movies coming out.
Well,
Have you seen the releases?
Yeah, there's a lot, but I believe it was Severin recently made a list of all the directors and of all the directors and different type of stuff that's coming out next year because they just had their big Black Friday sale, and Argento's on the list. So hopefully, I mean, for me, my first choice is we need a Four Flies on Grey Velvet, but also Sleepless. Like so. I think we're going to start to see more Argento hitting Blu-ray, especially since Arrow hasn't been doing anymore. I mean, they put out a bunch of them. You know,
I'd like a box set.
Didn't that? Oh, a box set would be amazing, especially of these later ones.
I would
together.
love the
That
whole
would be-
collection. I mean, the Giallo collection or whatever. Just the whole collection. Really, at the end of the day, that is his filmography. You know, give or take. Like, I mean, even the Phantom of the Opera remake that he did, was given sort of the Giallo touch. Dracula was probably the one that is not so much. And Trauma, I guess, for that matter.
Well, I mean,
But as
Suspiria is not a slasher. Inferno is not a slasher.
No, but it
Giallo,
feels. I know, but it for whatever reason, it just seems to fit. You're right. It's not in the traditional sense, but maybe because it's got the Argento, auteur stamp or seal of approval, it just seems to fit and could be boxed in with all of those. No question.
There is a Four Flies Blu-ray though, but it's
Yeah, it's
Shameless.
Shameless, yeah.
Yeah, it's not on.
It needs the treatment that films like Suspiria, Tenebrae, Phenomenon,
no question.
Those are getting. These Arrow or Synapse, these Steelbook, these really expensive editions, and the next logical step. I mean, even Opera got a nice release and stuff like that.
It should, and this should, and it's like they're releasing like freaking, I don't know, Bones, Snoop Dogg Bones. And people are getting excited about it. Yes, I'm thinking yes. When I was into, again, I'll go back to 2000 when I worked at the Hollywood Video. Nobody came back after running Bones excited. Nobody was like, "Oh, what a great movie!" Get the fuck out of here. People are excited about Bones. I mean, I
wasn't as mad at Bones because I know people are excited because it's finally coming to Blu-ray because it's never been on Blu-ray. But I was really pissed when they just did Spookies. And everybody went nuts. I was like, are you fucking kidding me? People
shit on Spookies like I shit on
Zero. I gave it a 0. Remember?
There you go.
It's a piece of shit.
I think I gave it like a generous 3.5 or something, or maybe a 4. But they released it with a nice, slip cover, and everybody was like, oh, day one buy. And that thing's, I don't know if it's sold out, but they...
Really?
They package it with a nice slip cover. They forget that it's still a turd inside.
You know what? Yeah, that's exactly
it. They try to polish a turd.
Yeah. You guys are fucking idiots.
Dude, I don't get it.
Sorry.
And I am a collector.
Me too. And I've bought some bad. And I've bought some bad films as well.
What's next? Nightmare Weekend? Oh, it's got a slip cover. It's in the girl's panties.
Oh, dude, Nightmare Weekend.
I don't understand people's excitement over these. Just because it's the first time on a Blue, they're acting as if it's fucking Suspiria being dropped. Again,
this is. I could go on a rant about this.
I could too, and I'm
you
trying.
You know what? This is what drives me crazy about horror fans, and it gets to each their own. Spend the money. It's your fucking money. If you want to fucking throw it into the ocean, throw it into the fucking ocean. But you're a fucking idiot. Fucking Spookies. Fuck that film. Fuck that
Spookies
film.
Really made me angry because they kept that hidden. It was one of the secret Black Friday Vinegar Syndrome releases, and so when it popped up, it was a film called The Candy Snatchers, which isn't even a horror film, and then Spookies, and I was just like...
I can't believe we're talking about Spookies and stuff. If you're a fan of Spookies, fucking unsubscribe to our show. I'll say I don't give a fuck. Unsubscribe. Listen to 22 Shots.
Because if you're a collector...
It's me too, but you're not the
that and shit my drawers just because it's the first time on Blue. Big fucking deal. There's a lot of first time out. Everybody gets excited when something's announced. Like what was that one thing? Everybody was fucking, and I knew it was a bad movie to begin with. Microwave Massacre and that fucking movie that I literally now, and I'm using literally in the perfectly literal sense. I'm not saying I watched a movie last night and it literally blew my mind. Because if I did that, I wouldn't have fucking.
That's a millennial thing. They turn literal into a figurative word.
I hate it. I fucking hate it. If I ever hear my daughter say that, there's gonna be fucking problems in this house. That is the stupidest fucking thing. The word literal was created just for that comparison to emphasize how serious something is. I literally shit my pants. That could happen.
That has happened.
Shit my pants, then I'll say it. Hey, listen, I literally
hit him in the garage.
But if I just said I shit my pants, there's no need to put the word literal in there. It's fake. I figuratively shit my pants. I was so excited. But anyway, what the hell was I saying about
it was a movie that actually
you were
literally
talking about,
something.
the movie that they released that
what was that terrible movie? It was the worst rated slasher. I said it was the year.
The Prey. And Brian. The Prey. And Brian was blowing it.
That too.
Brian on your other show, ABC's A Hidden Horror, was going, I'm a fan. I'm like, Brian, I can't respect you anymore. You were up here, and that just went like.
I really want it.
Okay, well, the slasher show. I got to look it up. Brandon knows what this movie is. It was my lowest rate. Doom Weekend or Doom Asylum. Is that what it's called?
Oh, Doom Asylum. Yeah, Doom Asylum got an Arrow release. Yeah.
Fucking people. Everybody bought it and people blew it and people were excited about it. I'm listening to people on podcasts saying, oh, yeah, Doom Asylum. They're buying it. They're all excited. Then I'm noticing people are talking about it later. Oh, well, no shit, it's a fucking turd. What are you doing blind buying something for $30 just because it's out on Blu-ray?
I'd sooner buy Doom Asylum than Spooky. So
Doom Asylum was my lowest rated
I know,
slasher.
but I'd still buy it over Spooky. You're like, which one do you want? Spookies or Doom Asylum?
Spookies is a bona fide zero. It was an unfinished movie that they went back and just inserted shit into to finish it and then release it. It's incomprehensible. It's bullshit.
You know what we should do? See, you know how to make videos. We should make a movie and make it a shot-on-video movie and just bullshit people and say that Dookies.
That would Blu-ray.
And say that it was released in 1983 and it's first time on Blue. Yet we just made it now. We can make it look old and shit, and we might get rich off these fucking.
That's the only thing that genuinely bothers me about the collecting community. And there are people who genuinely like these bad movies. And I'm a collector too. I blind buy movies sometimes, but generally I ask people. Like I have friends who are like into like slow burn 70s stuff. I have friends who are into like different stuff. So I'll be like, oh, is this worth buying or checking out? You know, if it's on a good price. And I've bought some movies that I haven't liked, but for the most part, you know, everybody goes nuts, especially when they have these sales and they show their stacks off that they bought and they have like 50 movies in the stack. And I'm like, that's fine. But believe me, I would love to buy 50 movies.
Then they turn the stack around and you see the titles and you're
exactly.
like, I don't care if that was a buck. You just threw that in the shitter.
Well, that's what it is. That's what it is.
And then they're going to try to justify it by watching them and saying it's better than it is. I'm sorry.
But that's what it is. A movie like Spookies, a movie like Microwave Massacre, that's a movie you expect to pick up at like a flea market for like $1 DVD or something, or a 50-cent DVD. And they're putting them out in like $30 editions. And it's the prices are only going up now. The prices have not gotten cheaper over the last like 5 years.
Well, because
you're not getting my money.
Because that's it. It's physical media. It's only going to go up.
Yeah, they're charging more and more, especially as you know they're doing fewer and fewer, and it's just these obscure boutique labels doing these limited releases. Meanwhile, all these films are on like Prime and stuff for the most part.
I told you guys I went digital. I've got shit. I got Blu-rays. I got video. I still have shit, but most of the stuff that I've gotten in the last 6 months to a year. Justin D sent me because he's upgraded to a Blu-ray or whatever or a 4K, and then he's like, "Here, Christian," and he mails me a bunch of them and whatever, and that's where my collection is extended from because I stopped collecting physical media for the most part. I'll pick up one here and there, but that's like the box set of Friday the 13th. Like I saw that someone said it was on Black Friday for $14.99. Well, when it first dropped in Canada, they had it on for $19.99 Canadian, which was like $14.99. I'm like, I gotta grab it, so I got it out of the gate at that price. So you can't beat it. Obviously, there's certain ones like that, but at the end of the day, I realize that sometimes I like having the physical copy. Like Brandon, you always said, "Fuck it, I don't want to go to the other room to grab it."
Dude, I do it now. I buy this stuff, and it's literally
digital.
getting up. And I did it with Blood Rage. I own the Arrow Blood Rage. I like the film. I gave it a 7. I don't love the film. I technically didn't need to buy it. It's on Prime. I put it on Prime. If I ever want to check out the composite cut with the extra scene of them talking at the pool at the beginning or something, whatever it is, it's just literally like an extra 2 minutes of dialogue. It's not even like extra gore. I could put it on, but like I didn't technically need it. But the collector in me, like, I like to have some physical media, so I do buy probably 10 to 20 movies a year.
I buy more than that, and I want the blue. I'm always going to take the blue over streaming because it's better quality. And like I say, when I talk shit about collectors, I'm not talking shit about all collectors. I was just at work today. Yeah. I was just at work today, literally showing a friend of mine at work my collection and stuff I had downstairs, and she's like a young girl. I mean, she's like in her 20s. She goes, "Why don't you just get a Fire Stick and plug it and have this?" And I'm stressing to her, different. It's not the same picture quality. It's not the same sound quality. I want the best experience I have when I watch a movie. And when you own something on Netflix or this or that, or you don't really own anything. They could take it down anytime. Realistically, you're just long-term renting all these things. Yeah. You're never really going to own them. I want to have that in front of me. And I am a PQ and a sound quality snob. I'm sorry, but I spend big money on my television and on my fucking sound system. So I'm not going to – that's what I'm into. Yeah. I'm now, granted, and I said I have like 1,000 Blu-rays. And she's like, 1,000? I go, that's nothing. Fucking, I have friends that have 5,000 Blu-rays. I go, I can show you videos of fucking people online that have a video of their fucking 2 shelves that takes a fucking 20 minutes to watch. I'm nowhere near as bad as them, and I'm nowhere near. So I am a collector. I'm just not as extreme as someone that's going to buy everything. If they have the money, why not? Who am I to say how to spend your money? God bless you. Salute.
No, but Spookies. Fuck Spookies.
Stop supporting this shit, because shit is what comes out from that. If you just keep blind buying everything that comes out, shit's going to come out. We want good quality films to come out. We don't want just anything to come out because it's the first time on Blue. You get excited. It's like the wrestling fans. Right now, the wrestling shows can't even average a fucking million per show. 1 million. When we were in the past, that's fucking a drop in the bucket. Millions of fucking people, 10 million people are watching wrestling. Now, it's the best time to be a wrestling fan. Why? Because you have 6 shows and they all fucking suck dick and they're all the same shit and there's not a household name in all them fucking things.
But if Vince was watching it, sucking dick would be good.
Yeah.
Vince McMahon?
Vince McMahon.
Vince McMahon was from
well.
TJF.
He may as well be sucking his dick.
We went on a huge tangent here.
Rating.
It's about time.
The tangent
it's about time.
That is about, but the tangent is because Sleepless is not on here. Spookies is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's the bottom. That is the
bottom
point.
The analogy joke I can make here is when Jon Stewart was hosting the Oscars one time, and you know that song "It's Hard Out Here for a Pimp" from
Hustle and Flow.
Yeah, and they won.
Yeah,
and he's like, if you're keeping score, 9, 6, 7 Mafia, 1 Oscar, Martin Scorsese, 0.
Yeah, Alfred Hitchcock, 0. Peter O'Toole, 0.
And I lost my mind.
It's true. That's why shows like even the Oscars has become like a joke. Like it was always like kind of.
I don't like it. Anyway.
I like the song was good. Don't get me wrong, the song was good. But an Oscar, and then that's like Spookies on Blu-ray, but there's so many others. Now maybe the licensing for this is crazy. Who knows? But really, the excitement is there for Spookies. Really, it's a fucking goose egg 0 movie.
And Bones?
And people are buying them, though. And you know what's going on? What I think the problem is with people buying them? I'm glad people are buying them because the companies are obviously making money and supporting horror. But then these companies are putting out even more and more obscure stuff, which, okay, eventually they'll find something good. But I just noticed lately, like, every time I see, like, the new releases coming out, I haven't heard of half these films. I'm not saying some of them aren't good, but there are good films that are more mainstream. That's why Scream Factory had a great year. I mean, they put out a lot of mainstream films that were great. We finally got a Blob remake on Blue, Candyman on Blue. Like, those, everybody should be buying those,
Yes, but people are marks. That's the fucking big problem here. People are marks, and they're just buying everything when it comes out just to buy it no matter what the price. Just like T-shirts. Fucking one company, Fright Rags, all of a sudden decreed that $27 is the new price, and people fucking gobble it up like fucking cum sluts in a porno. I mean, what the fuck? I will never pay $27 for T-shirts. I'm not doing it. I'm not going to pay them $27. I'm not going to give fucking Terror Threads $27. I won't even give Gutter Garbage $27, and they're my favorite company. I wait for the sales, and I pay 15 to 20 fucking tops. That 27, dude, there are these 4 or 5 new Black Christmas T-shirts. And 2 of them are just fucking beautiful. It has the logo on it. Dude, no.
Yeah, Black Xmas.
No, the original, and they look beautiful. They're awesome shirts with that logo, which I happen to love that logo. And they're $27 on Gutter Garbs, and I love Gutter Garb. This is a Gutter Garb. It's cost me $8 fucking because I bought it on a sale. Okay, for Slaughter Eye. I'm not going to pay $27 today. Christmas is coming. I want the shirt. I'm saying to myself, you know what? Between now and next Christmas, I'm going to get that shirt at least $7 cheaper. And I'm going to have a little self-control. It's the same thing with these Blu-rays. Have a little self-control and you'll see all the prices drop. Just fucking stop. Because you ever listen to those guys? You guys don't listen to Shockwaves, but I listen to Shockwaves, and they have the guys from Shout Factory on there. And sometimes they come up with they talk about movies that have sold, movies that haven't sold, and they got a bunch of copies of something, and they end up having to lower the price because it didn't sell. Well, it's fucking supply and demand.
Well, that's the problem. Everybody does day one purchases, and then these prices never drop. I want the thing Steelbook. Everybody bought it so quickly. It's still $35. I don't know paying $35 for it. And I could get the regular edition for $15, but I'm holding out that maybe one day they'll drop that Steelbook down to a reasonable price.
I'll do it for a big name. Like I did it for the Thing or Candyman or when My Bloody Valentine drops, I'm gonna be like everybody else and get it, and it's gonna come with the poster and the fucking thing.
Yeah, but that's different.
3 or 4 times a year. Yes, it is.
To me, that's different. I mean, maybe there's someone out there that absolutely detests My Bloody Valentine, but there's a difference between My Bloody Valentine and The Prey, or My Bloody Valentine and Spookies.
Right.
Or My Bloody Valentine and Come Gargling Sluts.
Come Gargling Sluts.
What was it? Was it Come Gargling Sluts?
Come Dumpsters, or I don't know.
Come Dumpsters. I don't know. I meant to put it in my favorites for later. Come Dumpsters.
Dog Fart presents. We need to go.
I really feel like Christian secretly works for Dog Fart Productions.
I
didn't even know it's on the
Oh, I don't even know what it is.
That's sick. That makes me a sick person.
I do not want to take a black light into that basement.
We call him an African Canadian light here.
Well done. All right, guys. So that was Sleepless.
Yeah, I mean, let's get back to it because I don't want to say I'm on a timeline, but I'm on a timeline.
You're on a timeline. You got to leave it like 5 minutes. We haven't even talked about the movie.
Okay.
Well, we have, but we got on that tangent, which, as Dave said, long overdue.
We need to do that more often.
Dude, that opening kill with the English horn. Whoo!
Yeah.
Oh.
I'm obviously the train scene and the train parking lot and all that, great tension, very very old school Argenta. But once we get to flashback of the 70s, actually we start with the flashback. I'm getting confused.
How about Max von Sydow?
Yeah,
I was going
doing the same. Always good to see him.
He looks the same here as he did in The Exorcist.
He always does.
He's still alive. He's like 90 and he still looks the same. And he's still acting. He's still acting.
I know. He was in, what do you call it, a couple years ago, the Star Wars movie.
Yeah.
And he looked the same way he looked in The Exorcist because he was makeup then, but what a good job because that's how he looks. But he's always good to see in a movie. The only time he looks radically different is when he plays Ming in Flash Gordon. He fucking doesn't look anything like he does any other time, but that's another.
Ming. That's hilarious. I don't even know if I do that.
Oh, dude, he's fucking so great as Emperor Ming. It's ridiculous. But
you
anyway.
know what he turned down?
Huh?
Spookies. He was actually, it was
turned down for what?
I was about to say turned down for what? You think turned down for what?
We're in sync, baby.
Yeah, Chief. All right, bye, everyone.
So how about Max von Sydow? Did you realize that later on in the movie, at one point, he had a little thing of pills that he said he took for his heart? It was the same fucking thing he did in The Exorcist. Remember, he had that little thing of fucking little tin can, and he took a pill in it and glycerin. They had to have done that for that reason.
Dude, I really think that the old school heart pills, because you always see it in the old movies, they had to be like Tic Tacs they were taking. Like, that's why everyone dropped dead. Like, it looks so cool. They always these tiny little, like, candies that they were taking.
I tell you, I think the dubbing makes the movie even a bit better. I know that might be blasphemous to say, but it's a character unto itself in a sense because it's so over the top that I don't even know if I want this. Maybe if you had the option to have it subtitled versus dubbed and have both, the best of both worlds, I'll take it. But my God, I texted you guys when they're in that Japanese restaurant. And he's like, get out of here. And it's so offensive.
We're better off without him.
And I'm like, oh my God, this is like, really? This is the voice they put on for the dubbing?
It was like right out of the 70s.
Right,
it was like fucking watching
awesome.
Return to the Wu-Tang or some shit.
Good story, though. Pretty easy to follow considering there was a lot going on, with the backstory with the dwarf murders and the 3 people killed then in relation to the
Dwarf.
Yeah, dwarf.
Oh, they said dwarf.
Dwarf. I thought you heard dwarf.
Yeah, dwarf.
Conway was killing people. He was small.
Dwarf.
What about the music they put in?
Arrow's gonna release that next.
What about that whimsical music where he's like, and he's walking in and he sees all the other dwarfs at the in that room?
That is highly offensive.
It is highly offensive, and he's like, I've got an alibi. I was with my wife or girlfriend last night or something like that.
They're almost like making a joke that little people can't get girlfriends.
I'm like, what the hell's going on? And then the music's like, it's like almost like the cop music in Halloween 5.
Oh
yeah, yeah, that was silly. But the dwarf murders, in relation to what's going on and bringing Giacomo back. I like Giacomo.
Yeah, I do too.
I like him. I like the teaming up of him and Moretti, and really well done.
That's
and
what I love about these
Gloria.
movies.
Gloria's just
Didn't she remind you guys?
Asia.
Thank you.
Yeah, exactly.
There were 2 or 3 times I thought it was her. I'm like, no,
I had to look it up. I'm like, this is not the
Yeah.
one she's in. I go, I know there was a scene, supposedly, what movie was it that he directed was it the Stendhal Syndrome where he directed a love scene with her? Because, like, there's a love scene in this one, too. I'm like, he didn't do it again, did he? And I'm like, oh, no, it's not her.
He's like, I need someone that looks like my daughter.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude,
But I can't rape her again. Let me rape someone that looks like her.
There's a couple of scenes where she turns to the camera, I'm like, is that her? It is
when
like
she's
a
playing the
copycat.
harp, it looks just like her. The first time we're introduced,
I wonder if it was
I didn't want to harp on that part.
Oh my god! I wonder if it was a plan that maybe he was taking the criticism that he got from the other movie and casted someone that looked like her, kind of like Brian De Palma did when he used a body double for Angie Dickinson in Dressed to Kill and got some negative feedback or something like that. So he called his next movie Body Double.
I was gonna say he did that movie Body Double. Wow.
As a response. So I don't know. Maybe that was. Because this was the one he did right after, is it not? Or is there Dracula in between? No, Dracula came later.
Dracula
came
much
later.
later.
Much later, you're right. Phantom, well, maybe even Phantom came later. I think this was right after Stendhal.
No, Phantom was in the 90s. This is the
before.
2000s. This is his last great movie. He was in the 2000s.
The card player was that.
The Card Player, and then Do You Like Hitchcock, and then Giallo, and then Dracula is my unofficial guess.
Yeah.
Do you like Card Player? Do you like Hitchcock? Mother of Tears, Giallo, Dracula.
Mother of Tears. My bad. Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah. But the one thing I love that he's never shied away from, despite the criticism of being misogynistic, is the brutality of the kills. That's one thing that he just has more so. Even like
the punches to the face.
Oh my god! I mean, look, Fulci has awesome kills. I love Fulci kills. And they're nasty and they're gory, but this is just like, I mean, they really are misogynistic. It's almost like, oh my god, this person hates women. But for the sake of filmmaking and for entertainment and separating fiction from nonfiction, like this is what you want to see in like a really nasty horror film. These types of brutal kills.
The guys do get it too, but like he smashes the woman's head against that wall.
Oh
boom,
my
boom,
god!
boom,
And
the
you
teeth
see
come out.
her teeth coming. Oh my god!
I was like, but that means it's effective.
Even when he punches the one girl in the club before he drowns her, like she instantly is just severely bruised up, and you're like, oh my god, it looks awesome and it's nasty, but I get that it's wrong. But
it's not wrong. It's a movie, and I want to see it.
No, I know that's what I'm saying. Like
I want to see it in all. Right, no, but I want to see it in all his movies. And if you want to talk about Argento, how many times is the female ended up being revealed as the killer? You know what I mean? So
he has strong
woman on
characters
woman
too.
Violence,
and he always has a strong woman lead. Kind of.
Absolutely.
There at the end too. Whether it's
the card player is like that. Is the main character is one of them, but in this one,
Tenebrae, Phenomena,
Deep Red,
yeah. So he does showcase the strength of women as well.
They always seem to forget that in the critiques when they start talking about the misogyny. They forget the counter argument to that of having the strong female lead that ends up saving the day, or
dude, it's all bullshit. If you watch all the movies, like the slasher movies from the 80s and shit, and I know we're not talking about slasher, we're talking about Argento, but I'm saying when they talk about misogyny, if you look at the kills, the more men are killed in slasher movies, and they're usually killed in more violent fashion, and no man ever survives. Only person that ever survives are female final girls. So they're way wrong on that shit. Like you could do it statistically, you could go back and look at all that stuff, and there's no way they can ever say that and make any sense.
Unless you're watching Don't Go in the House.
Okay. You get exceptions.
Yeah, maybe. But there's a movie this year called Knife Plus Heart.
Yeah.
And it has absolutely brutal. I mean, it takes place on the set of a gay porno, and it has an absolutely brutal male-on-male kill where he sodomizes someone with a knife. And to me, that's just like the most brutal thing I've ever seen.
Ooh, yeah, I know. It was like, what do you call it? Cat Sick Blues? Remember that shit?
Oh, Cat Sick Blues was pretty misogynistic too, if you want to put it that way.
Well, yeah, but he had that thing. Remember, he had that cat dick with the fucking knife on the end.
I actually like Cat Sick Blues.
It's interesting to watch. I'm not going to watch it 100 times, but it's not a bad movie.
I'll watch it like 9 times.
Paul Stevenson, I think, watches
For 9 lives?
9 lives. What'd you say?
I think he's a Paul Stevenson favorite. I watched it once. That was enough for me. It was good. I liked it, but I never have to see it again.
Did you notice when the girls killed in the club, the one who's dressed as a cat, and they have the awesome scene where the killer cuts the nails off so to get the DNA out.
Oh, the nail cutting would make me squirm.
Shit.
Yeah,
I was squirming because
the nail cutting nasty.
Oh,
he was going all the way down to the cuticle, and the investigators the next day are like, "Why does she have nails cut on one hand shorter than the other? Like she didn't cut those. Like clearly her fingers were being chopped off." But there's one forensics guy who picks up the I don't know if it's the cat cutout. It's the cat little cutout. He puts on a glove. He picks it up with his glove to put it into evidence, and Max von Sydow just quickly grabs it out of his hand with no glove on.
I know.
I was like,
is that when they ask, "What are you doing here?"
Yeah.
Here's what I don't get. Didn't they come to him earlier?
Chief?
Didn't they come to him earlier for advice and saying, "Didn't you handle the case?" This and that? Then they showed him later. He showed up later to seemingly to help, and they gave him the fucking 3rd degree.
Yeah. Well, I think
what was that?
I think the boss was sort of probably just off put by the kind of fact that he was dismissive about it. Like, that was a long time ago. Even though he promised Giacomo,
and he showed up and helped.
I'll spend the rest of my life looking for your mother's killer. 17 years later, he's retired playing with his parrots. Not exactly the rest of your life.
I lied. No, but then he makes good on it. He makes good on it.
He does.
That was sad. That poor bird. You hear the way it was chirping when fucking shit went bad?
Or when he hit the ground and they flew down to
And that's another great thing about this movie.
It was sad.
I mean, yeah, it's a sad scene, and it's probably shocking if you're seeing it for the first time because people aren't expecting that.
How does Argento always do that? He always makes these movies where there's a human connection with an animal, and then the animal is real sad. Remember, like the monkey and fucking Phenomena and shit. How do they get an animal to act so sad?
Or the vengeful ravens in opera.
Well, yeah. Fuck. I'll tell you, he does that a lot. He has a lot of animals in his film.
Or the nine-tailed cat and Cat of Nine Tails. Why are you sad? Because I have 8 too many tails.
Or that dog scene in fucking Tenebrae.
Oh.
I have 8 too many tails.
I love the dog scene in Tenebrae. That dog is hilarious.
Because it comes out of nowhere for no reason.
And he chases her for 15 miles.
I love it. I don't know if it's supposed to be funny, but to me it is.
Yeah, it is funny and it's great. And that's Sleepless.
And that's Sleepless. Argento's animals. Oh man, he does.
I would say, Brandon, I agree with what you said a bit earlier. That although I enjoyed it all, I could have had a little bit trimmed out, just a little bit, kept the pacing a little bit going. Yeah. I think what you find with some of these later Argentos, the Card Player is another good example. Starts off gangbusters, slows down a little bit for the second act, and then it kicks back in again. And I find that this one's not much different than that. Like, there's enough going on to keep your interest, but at almost 2 hours, it could have probably been shortened.
It's very heavy on the dialogue. Even in the opening sequence leading up to all the train killing and everything that happens there, you don't really need to know Angela the prostitute's name. You don't need to know her friend's name. You don't need to there's just a lot of chit chat where it could just be she gets on the train, she calls her friend, "Wait for me at the station, I'm scared. I found some crazy stuff, you're not gonna believe it." And then it could be a little quicker. But
so this is what I'm talking about. So he calls and you're saying he totally head fakes her because he's acting as if he's still at home going, "Bitch, you left, where's my thing?" And you're thinking he's just throwing her. Obviously he is, because he's on the train.
He's on the train.
However, she goes all the way up to follow that guy, and then she's like, "I forgot my bag, I gotta go back to go get it." Goes back to get it, and he comes in, and then it illuminates, and he's standing behind the window, attacks her, she escapes, runs back up, and that guy's dead.
He's not dead, though. He was just knocked unconscious.
Right, because he came back later.
Okay, but still, it seemed like the geography of where everybody would be is a little off to make that work. It might have been a
little off. But what was awesome, and she would have lived, that hiding spot she had. Tucking herself into the rubber in between the
But then I was like, "Bitch, stay back there," because she's like,
what are you doing?
Be cool. Yeah.
Is he coming up? Hey, if you're just staying, she would have been fine.
I thought that was one of the smartest hiding spots I've ever seen in a horror film.
They make it sound like she, like, didn't you hear, like, a...
Yeah, she got sucked in. Like a scene out of Spookies.
Oh, shit.
I like everything here. I like the unfolding of the nursery rhyme. I like the
cool.
I like the mistake within the nursery rhyme in terms of interpreting
the instrument.
Yeah, the instrument.
Yeah, dude.
I love how that plays in with the reveal of the killer.
You know what's weird? Let me interrupt. There was a situation where they mentioned going to the something. I forgot where. I don't know I don't have the right terminology, but he says something about the harp, and he goes the harp. He said something about that being an instrument.
Yeah.
It was before that thing at the end. So it's like they planted the seed there because then later on he said it again. But do you remember that happening when he was in the car with the girl talking about the harp being an instrument?
Yeah, because he's saying instrument. Yeah. It's like it's automatically like kind of relating to the term in the nursery rhyme, and also just the whole idea of the geography of the killing. I love that.
Oh, the reason why?
Yeah, the reason. It's actually really quite a brilliant film. I really love the film.
I got a little worried when Dave was like, "I'm watching this boring movie," or whatever. I'm like, "No way, man, no way!" And then I'm like, "Oh wait,
think I would diss our channel?"
And then I'm like, "No," I clicked it right away. I'm like, "You saw it!" Like right after, I'm like, "Oh wait, I got it."
Right. No, it was the first 30 minutes.
You had told me, yeah, exactly. But I thought you told me you left Sleepless for the last one, so I I thought you said you
was going to because I was gonna believe it or not, and I hate to admit this. But because our time was so short and we wanted to get to it, I was going to come downstairs and watch it here on 1.5 and fucking get it done in an hour and a half. And then I thought better of it. I said, you know what? I can't do Argento like that. I got to watch the fucking movie the way it is. I'm not going to 1.5 fucking The Master. So I didn't. You know?
So I'm 1.1.
That's what
1.25 did.
No, I can't. I can only do it. Here's the thing about the PS4. You can't do that. You can only do it on a PS3. If you don't have a PS3, you can't 1.5 a movie. So it's so rare that I do it, but when I have to do it, I have to come downstairs to do it. Because upstairs, I don't even have the PS. I mean, I have a PS4, but I watch my Blu-rays in my Blu-ray player because I spend good money on the fucking thing. So
1.5 is too fast for me. 1.25 I could do. There's some streaming sites, illegal, where they have the 1.12 setting.
Good God, look at you.
It just cuts the film down by like 4 minutes.
Typically, if they're older films, you don't even notice it.
No.
Because they're deliberately paced slower, like back in the day. But
I bet you got to use subtitles. Yeah, that's the deal. If you 1.5 a movie, immediately you have to use subtitles and you have to read the movie so you don't fucking miss out on anything.
Yeah.
That's how I can get away with it. Because I'll 1.5 it if I have to. I don't do it much. It's been a long time, really. But if I have to do it, I'll put on the sub so I know I won't miss anything.
Yeah, this is not a 1.5 movie, especially with all the dialogue.
And it was thoroughly enjoyable. Like
it was.
I don't know if it was because I did like the card player and I did like Giallo, so I'm not going to say this is his last great. Well, maybe it's probably the highest rated.
It's his last great to me. The other ones are good. This is the
I don't hate Giallo. Giallo falls in the movie. I love Adrian Brody. I love just about every film he does. I think he automatically makes a film better, and that's probably why I like Giallo more than most.
I like Giallo.
But
I
like it. It's probably slightly above average for me. And Card Player I also like, but this is like, it
is rated higher.
A top film. Yeah. This is really like, I could see people saying, oh, Sleepless is in my top 3, and I wouldn't be like, what?
I actually saw people say this is my second favorite Argento.
Yeah.
And whatever. And you know what? It's funny, Dave. Once you start actually rating it and seeing where, of course, this would be his highest rated of his last batch of movies. So
well, I'll tell you, that makes sense. And this is another reason why Argento is my favorite, the fucking man. Because what other horror director made a great movie in the 70s, 80s, 90s, and 2000s? None. Fucking none. He's the only one. Granted, he only had one great one in the 2000s and one great one in the 90s, in my opinion. Stendhal, but other people might choose fucking, Trauma. I happen to prefer Stendhal, but no other director has done that, I don't think. Especially in horror. I really can't.
Not only that, when you look at like great directors who have only made 1 or 2 great films, and they're still great directors. I mean, I think if a director makes 1 great film, that's awesome. You're a great director. You made an amazing film.
You can actually argue Craven, who I've been shitting on a lot lately, but Craven was one of my favorite directors growing up. But you could talk about Last House on the Left, Hills of Eyes in the 70s.
Sure.
Nightmare in the 80s, and other people will probably draw
Scream.
some others. Scream in the 90s. And
Scream 4, 2011. So he skipped the
2011.
2000s, but he did come back with Scream 4.
I have no problem calling Craven a master and defining his legacy over a long period of time. I enjoy a lot of his films.
But to me, those are his 5 best movies. And
Yeah.
after that, everything else is a dramatic drop-off. Where to me, Argento, his run is only rivaled by Carpenter's. And Carpenter's isn't even all horror. But like Argento's run from the time he came around in the early 70s with the Animal Trilogy up until 87 with Opera, I don't think any horror director has done that straight with that many great films.
And the one thing you got to say about
Argento
him
had a
is,
bunch
even
too.
though he had some films that are complete duds, Argento, that people hate or whatever, that you don't like, he his vision was never compromised for a film that he wanted to make.
No,
he made the films he wanted to make, because you
Yep.
could say like, oh, why didn't he just make this? Because he wanted to try this. It didn't work. Whatever. He tried it, but he came back to what worked.
Yep, he made Mother of Tears a completely different way than he made the other 2 in that series, and I wish he wouldn't have, but who am I to say?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It is what it is. And I can make sense of any one of his movies except Inferno.
Inferno's always the hard one. It's been a long time since I've watched Inferno.
I can't tell you how many times I hear somebody say something online on just social media or on a podcast about Argento's movies not making sense. I defy fucking anybody. Message me. Find me on Facebook and message me and name the movie, and you tell me where you are confused, and I will tell you exactly what the fuck's happening in that.
Not to call
Except
him out.
Inferno.
Not to call him out, but like I remember JP when he watched Deep Red for the first time said he was confused, and I always
told him
thought
he watched the wrong one.
Yeah, he must have watched the wrong, because
that
you watched
patched
the middle
up one, the one that it was supposed to be the
Yep.
definitive version that actually sucks
The
because it
fucking
goes from
Profondo Rosso cut.
dubbed
Right.
to
You got to watch the
subtitled
middle
Dude, it's
version.
bad.
The middle
bad.
version, the hour and 45-minute version, not
Yep.
the 2 hour and 10-minute version, and not the Hatchet Murders version. The
Right.
middle version is the
Correct.
perfect one, and it's so easy to follow. In fact, I think that's his easiest film to follow.
It totally is. Argento is the one director where you do not ever want to watch the extended cuts. Always watch the one that was fucking the original cut.
Yeah.
Not, you know what I mean? And you will never go wrong. His extended cuts, they were cut for a reason, because he fucking cut them, and it doesn't make sense. And I've told men, I was so excited when I got the Deep Red Blu-ray when it first dropped to watch the Profondo fucking Rosso cut. And I sat down and watched it with my wife, and my wife had seen 3 or 4 Argento movies up until that point. And we watched that one. I was so jazzed. I'm like, I'm finally going to see this. And it was the first fucking one, and I was disappointed. And she was like, well, that was the first Argento movie I didn't love. And I was
that
like,
was considered his first classic.
right, and it's fucking Deep Red.
It's crazy,
People
yeah.
love that movie, but it's because we watched the wrong version.
I know that version does suck. Romero,
Yeah.
we will have to mention Romero with
Yes,
Night of
he had a
the Living
great
Dead, and I mean a great run in movies in decades that are genre defining. But again, I mean we could go on. There's a handful
Night,
of
Dawn,
directors.
Day,
Yeah.
and then what in the 90s? Did he do anything after in the 90s that'd be considered
It's
fucking 4
arguable
decades?
because I mean the Dark
Fucking
Half I don't
Bruiser.
think is well loved. Bruiser I think came out in '99 or 2000.
Bruisers, I didn't hate Bruiser.
It's not great though. That's all.
No.
You know,
Land of the Dead, you can argue, and then
The Land was 2005, and
no, I'm not taking away from anybody, but I'm just saying.
but
to
he
me,
didn't.
Argento-
He didn't direct a lot of films either. I mean, he only has
Creepshow,
like 20 directing films.
right?
But I really enjoy Season of the Witch. You know, obviously Martin, Creepshow. You know, Monkey Shines is good.
he had a great run there as well.
He's got he's got some good films.
We should
We
wrap
should
it
have
up.
a show.
We should have a show.
We should have a show one day talking about directors and having a conversation. Just,
Let's
I'm
call it
telling you what,
Exploding Heads Horror Movie Podcast.
we are.
Us three will host.
Good idea.
It'll be
Okay,
Call of
next
Dave.
season. Next season, after episode 100. Actually, this is our 4th anniversary, by the way. Low key.
Oh,
Happy anniversary.
happy
Yes.
anniversary.
Yep.
I love you boys.
I love you.
Love you guys, even though we've never met.
Yeah,
Isn't that crazy? People, that's so weird because people ask me all the time, they're like, how long you been podcasting? I'm like, 4 years. I'm like, oh, must be good friends. I'm like, yeah, we're good friends, but we've never met in person.
And I've been in Berlin. I've been in Buffalo and Tonawanda area, Buffalo really, and I've been in Jersey too. But it was like 45 minutes from where you live. I think.
I prefer if you stay out of Jersey.
I go.
We will do it this fucking year, dude. It's on. We're gonna do it next year season. After episode 100, we're gonna have more time to bullshit because our format's gonna change a little. And we're gonna have more sessions like that where we can fucking go off on rants and talk about.
2020 is the year.
Things
are changing. Things are getting good, and 2020 is gonna be my best year.
I agree. It's gonna be a fine-tuned, fucking perfect season. I think.
Yeah, I'm making 2020 the best year ever.
Nice.
You're gonna be seeing 2020.
Yeah, I'm going to be on 2020. We're going on a massacre.
This is not a warning sign that we're going to have to say later on. Oh, we didn't know. We didn't think we thought he was joking. You know those idiots on the fucking news? Oh, we didn't take him seriously.
He just went into the old women's gym and started giving out urinary tract infections.
Here's one for you. What do you guys rate this motherfucker?
8 out of 10.
You know, I was right there, but talking about it, and I know we kind of missed out on some parts to talk about, but 8.5.
8.5.
Was there anything else you wanted to add that you?
I just want to say that I like, even though like the head detective, all I picture was just in living color when I say that. But the head inspector who was clashing Moretti at the time, how his way of finding the killer actually worked in the end. But he does still give credit to, like, if we used Moretti's way, we probably would have found him quicker. But they do find him that way. Because it gets a little confusing with the phone calls at the end. People think, like, was there a phone call? Was there not? And there wasn't.
Yeah, to the cops.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a cool reveal at the end, too, man.
Yeah.
Folded with the guy and the fucking thing. I don't want to say it, but
yeah, but the gore, everything.
Yes, yeah,
great stuff. Great stuff.
How about that one? How about that one, B? You know that one?
I do know that.
Skype cuts you off.
I've only watched the movie 3 times. Have you watched the director's cut yet? You're on a different movie. Forget it. I was doing something from a different movie. Move on. Move along.
Wait, weren't you doing it from this movie?
Probably.
No. I wasn't doing the fucking. The noise that C did. I didn't do that. I did something else.
Oh, what did you do?
I don't know if I could do it again. I can't do it on the spot.
If you ask me the Rob,
I can't do it again. Son of a bitch. That.
Dude.
You know what that is?
Friday the 13th?
No, forget it, man.
Wheezing Jason?
Forget it. Midsommar.
I'm right there with you guys, too. I figured it was Midsommar because you said you watched the director's cut yet. 8 out of 10 on this movie. And, yeah, it was a lot of fun. I'm glad it was picked. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Well, I was afraid we weren't even going to get our hands on it. But I had the DVD. I didn't know if these guys had it or not.
Yeah, I actually have the old Artisan DVD from, I have a lot of the original Argento films on DVD. Nice.
So that was from George. Blood Rage was from Scott. Devil's Machine was from Derek. So thanks you all.
Boys.
Yeah, man. Great stuff. Next show, episode 93, the Firefly Trilogy.
The what?
Yeah, I know.
What is this, the Asian version?
It's
Firefly.
Absolute Dave is beginning to slur his words. Okay, I admit it. Firefly Trilogy from Christine. It's on House of a Thousand Corpses, Devil's Rejects, and 3 from Hell.
You know what's crazy about this next show? I don't own any of those films.
What?
Oh. I don't own a single one of them.
Damn. I own them all.
Yeah. No, I should technically own them all. But I don't.
3.
Oh, you know what we didn't bring up? I have to ask real quick, just going back to Sleepless real quick. The hobo, Leone?
Yeah.
Do you think he really ate a Pomeranian?
Did he really eat who?
A Pomeranian.
Is that a person?
A dog.
Is it a person?
Oh, man. Absolute Dave is absolutely slosh.
I don't think so. That guy looked like he was missing a few keynotes.
Oh,
You do remember when they make the reference, like, oh, they swore that he ate a Pomeranian. You got a recipe from a Vietnamese guy or something.
Yeah, I remember now. I slipped. I was thinking it was like a country, Pomeranian. I don't know. Did he eat a Pomeranian?
This guy stays in nicer houses than I live in.
Dude,
Yeah.
in that mansion.
Yeah, I know.
Right?
It's great. That's fucking hilarious.
Yeah, and those puppets were creepy as hell. And good use of it, even though they're similar, different from the Deep Red one, which I almost shit my pants the first time I ever saw Deep Red.
Oh,
that
was
scene,
great.
that scene, I think that's why my hair turned white early. Like the first time I watched Deep Red, I just remember like I just defecated. Like it was terrifying.
Speaking of defecating, I gotta go.
There you go. That's reason enough to get out of
Speaking of
here.
defecating, this show is over.
Thank you, everybody. We love you all.
Yes,
Keep
we
up with
do.
the show. You know, we'll be around. Next show is the Firefly trilogy. Show after that, 94, top 19 of 2019. We love you all. Thank you. See you later. You guys got anything else before we jet?
Good night, everybody.
Yeah, good night.
Peace.